LeFlore and Williamson went in opposite directions. The Rattlers picked up one win for the second year in a row, while the Lions captured their first region title in 13 years. Can the Rattlers get on the good foot with the victory, or will the Lions pick up their fifth win in a row over LeFlore? We're about to find out as we kick off the 2021 season with the triple hitter for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Al Whedon along with Corey LeBounty. Corey, we're about to kick off 3 in a row.
Have been waiting since December and the Super 7 for the culmination of this 2021 football season. All the hard sweat equity is going to be paying off for these teams across the state of Alabama starting tonight. Some of the schools got an early start and started a jamboree last week to kind of get their feet wet, but tonight it's week 0 in the AHSAA.
And we are excited to have you here with us at Lad Peoples Memorial Stadium. We're going to have a great night tonight. As I said, we're kicking off 3 in a row. It's a triple hitter. Tonight, it's LeFlore versus Williamson. Tomorrow, James Clemens versus Murphy. And Corey, on Saturday, man, I'm going to say it, it's the granddaddy of them all, Blunt versus Viger, right here at Lad Peoples Stadium.
3 great games to start off the high school football stadium here at Lad Peoples, and you have to be excited about high school football every single year. It doesn't matter how hot it is, what the temperature is.
Right.
You're just ready, and the bands are here. You look at the fans pouring into Lad Peoples Stadium, so the excitement is set for a great week 0 of the 2021 football season.
All right, Corey, let's get to it. Let's take a look at your checklist for tonight because we have a great ball game in store for you. So let's take a peek at who do you have, what's going on for your checklist tonight.
Right here for Williamson, they must make adjustments on the fly. And why must they do so? Because LeFlore has a brand new coaching staff, and they don't have any film besides the players who played 1 year ago for the Rattlers. So the adjustments on the fly are going to be very important. Take away the turnovers for LeFlore. LeFlore must not turn the football over, must secure that pigskin tonight, and they must put a pause on all the penalties. They don't want Ron Coleman and his crew to go ahead and get paid overtime tonight. They want to make sure they keep those yellow hankies in the stripes pockets as much as possible. On the adverse side, when you're looking at LeFlore, they also must establish the run. If they're establishing the run, they'll be just fine. Again, they have to take away the turnovers also and pause the penalties. On the other side, Williamson, again, must make adjustments on the fly, control the trenches, and have great special teams play. These are the things to look forward to in this game tonight, Al.
Well, Corey, when we came up on camera, some of you may have noticed that we had a few sweat bubbles or perspiration on our forehead. It is a bit humid, so let's take a look at the forecast for the weather for tonight. It is definitely humid here at Lad Peoples Stadium as we are moments away from kickoff. So as we're near 7 o'clock, you can see right there, humidity at 71%. It's 87 degrees. We do enjoy that breeze coming out the southwest right now, and hopefully it'll continue to tonight. But you notice later on have some partly cloudy skies coming up. Rain at 15% for tonight. Hopefully, Corey, that will stay down. But Corey, we're outside tonight broadcasting. Look at that humidity continuing to rise toward 9 and 10 o'clock.
The good thing is that the players are practicing at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, probably the hottest part of the day here at Mobile, Alabama, so they're used to the humidity. But again, at 83%, when you have on all that equipment, when you have a lot of both of these guys playing both ways for both of these teams, you can look at cramping and making sure they're hydrated, being effective here early in this game.
Thanks to our folks over there at BSN Sports for putting up our weather forecast for today. All right, Corey, we talked about your checklist. So as we see the coin toss taking place right there, who are some of the impact players you have for the ball game tonight?
Well, when you start talking about the Williamson Lions, you must talk about Robert Woodyard. Robert Woodyard is a young man who a lot of people had their eyeballs on throughout the entire state of Alabama. He is committed to Nick Saban and the University of Alabama. And also, Williamson has a left-handed quarterback, Daniel Miller. He just picked up an offer from South Alabama here locally. So those are the guys that you really want to watch for the Williamson Lions tonight that I think will make a difference on both sides of the football for Williamson. For the LeFlore Rattlers, you just have to look no further than Demir Smith. Demir Smith is a senior running back / wide receiver. He's their do-it-all player for the Rattlers, playing both sides of the football, along with Kelvin Moore. He's the junior linebacker for the Rattlers. We'll be calling his name a lot tonight also. He's a vocal leader for the LeFlore Rattlers, so we'll see if Coach Sean Burney can go ahead and get the dividends that he wants out of this young junior for LeFlore.
All right, Williamson is going to be receiving the ball when we get ready for kickoff. And here in just a matter of moments, Williamson defeated LeFlore last year 14-12. And in this series, they played each other 53 times. Williamson leads the series 32-20-1. And right now we're going to take a look at who's going to be calling the action for us tonight. Here's the crew led by Ron Coleman, Charlie Shipp. You got Willie Gaston back there, Anthony Rabb, Clarence Jose, TJ Roberts, and John Esposito, as we are just moments away from kickoff, Corey, here. And we'll say it, this game has a name. It's the Levi Washington Classic, Corey. So there's a trophy up for grabs tonight. I believe Williamson owns the trophy right now.
Yeah, both teams take great pride in this rivalry. And when you start talking about the name behind this game and what it means to both of these schools, who are probably located less than 8 miles apart from one another, I remember the days when you would have close to 18 to 19,000 people to come here to watch this kickoff game. Times have changed a little bit, but it does not stop the tradition of both of these schools.
All right, Corey, we are moments away from kickoff. Don't move. We're going to come back, and we're going to put toe to leather right here for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. Don't move.
Hello, I'm Renee Phillips, your host of Homeroom. Will you join us as we talk with the students, teachers, and staff about all of the great things happening in our schools?
That's right, Renee. Not only are we here to keep you informed about the great things happening in our schools, but to also keep you updated on safety issues.
Our show, Safe Schools, looks at ways to keep your child and our students safe.
Not only are we looking at ways to keep your child and our students safe, but to keep you informed on how to connect with us.
Manténgase informado aquí en Conexión a Padres.
And we also score big from pre-K to high school with MCPSS Athletics.
And then Inside Education puts it all together for you, showing you the ins and outs about news and events taking place across the Mobile County Public School District. We do this to keep you informed.
When we say Bishop State Community College is a great place to start, we really mean it. Want to major in psychology, engineering, criminal justice, English, history, or something else? Take your general education courses with us, then transfer your credits to the four-year university of your choice. Want to learn a trade and go straight into the workforce? We have the programs and the trainings to help you land a high-wage and high-demand career. Save time and thousands while conveniently taking classes safely online or on campus. Register now, bishop.edu.
The Environmental Studies Center is a natural sciences education facility designed to provide unique learning experiences. In addition, wildlife rehabilitation plays a vital role each day at the center. Featuring more than 500 acres of rich woodlands, the center affords teachers, students, and the general public an opportunity to experience firsthand the natural environment. Environmental Studies Center. It starts with us in the Mobile County Public Schools.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College, and we are a matter of seconds away from kicking off the 2021 high school football season, and there we are underway as one of the up guys for Williamson takes the kickoff, moving on up to about the 40-yard line as he wrapped up by the Rattlers. Great field position coming up here for Williamson. We'll take a look at their offense, led by lefty quarterback Daniel Miller. He's returning for his senior season, coming off a year where he threw for more than 1,200 yards. The Lions' ground game centers around junior running back Jacoby Shaw. He rushed for nearly 1,000 yards last season, and he has good hands, so look for him and Miller to connect on some screens tonight. They'll be protected by a very experienced offensive line, Corey, averaging 265 pounds across the front, and I'm loving these uniforms tonight for Williamson, Corey.
No doubt about it.
Miller throwing early, and he connects. Great catch right there by Jacoby Shaw as Williamson comes out, punches LeFlore right in the mouth, Corey.
LeFlore was in that 3-4 defense, but the cornerback got spun around like a top, and that's not what you want in the secondary for the Rattlers, but a big strike early of some 65 yards for the Williamson Lions. First and goal from the Rattlers' 10-yard line.
We just talked about Jacoby Shaw saying he'll come out the backfield, and bam, right there, Coach Melvin Pete throws it to him on the first play of the ball game. Ball sitting at the 10-yard line, so it is first and goal, as Corey told us. Miller's going to keep it. Cuts the edge. Looks like he's forced out, I believe, at the 1-yard line, Corey.
Right down to the 1-yard line on the quarterback keeper. He decided to keep it himself and had a lot of success, got close to 9 yards on that quarterback keeper. We mentioned Daniel Miller is a senior for this Williamson Lions squad, and he is a veteran quarterback. He ran this show last year, and it looks like they're going to be offensive coordinator is the head coach for the Williamson Lions, and Melvin Pete. You mentioned he averaged 16.7 points per game last year. We'll see if they can score early.
Officials right now on the field talking. Ron Coleman's going to give us a call.
After the play, personal foul against the defense.
All right, Corey, it is first and goal here. I'm sorry, second and goal for the Lions.
After that personal foul called against the Rattlers, it should be an automatic first down.
I think we have some audio difficulties, Corey. I can't pick you up right now. I believe you said that was a personal foul issue there.
It was a personal foul issue. Looks like you can't mark it off much more than what they already have to the half-inch yard line for the Williamson Lions. Half the distance will remain second down and 1 yard to go.
Williamson trying to punch this one in. Miller's just going to go right behind his center, LeDerick Lane, and that's a 2-yard touchdown for the Lions. They're on the board early at the 11-14 mark.
The strike early by Daniel Miller to Jacoby Shaw set up an easy 1-yard touchdown. The big offensive line up front by the Williamson Lions. Cameron Pope, James Clark, the center, LeDerick Lane, Eric Lane, and Jaquan McKinney got a good push on the 1-yard line for the Williamson Lions. And here it is, special teams play. The point after is what's going to be critical for both of these teams.
Very critical, Corey, very critical. Extra point is good. Hakeem Green punches it through, and we're going to take a break. Williamson scores early over LeFlore. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Welcome to LeFlore High School, where we are committed to graduating students that are college and career ready. We look forward to seeing you for a campus visit soon.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
The action has started early here at Lab People Stadium after a 50-yard pitch and catch from Daniel Miller to Jacoby Shaw. Miller punches it in for a 2-yard touchdown, Corey, and Williamson up early, 7-0 over LeFlore as that ball goes out of bounds. So let's see what Coach Sean Burney is going to decide to do here.
I would take it. I would go ahead and take the field position off of the bad kick, because you're in a situation to where you want your offense to get back on the field unless you feel your return man has an opportunity to take one to the house early to get you right back in this game. But here it is, Al, 11-14 remaining here in the first quarter, and off of one long 50-yard pass, Williamson was able to get in prime real estate, and it looks like LeFlore is deciding on what they want to do in this situation, whether they want Williamson to kick it again or not.
Let's take a look at the LeFlore offense while we had this break. Leading the Rattlers on the field tonight, he's a freshman quarterback, DeAnthony LeSure. He didn't get to play last year due to COVID, so he is amped up and ready to go for the Rattlers. He'll be looking to connect with senior Demir Smith. Now, Smith is the 3-back in the Rattlers offense, but he'll be all over the field tonight. Also, keep your eyes open for wideout Miguel Fleming. He'll be trying to haul in catches, too. Up front, the Rattlers are well experienced with all upperclassmen and bookended by Corey Ketchup and Mustard. That's left tackle Jamori Niles and right tackle Darion Pugh. More details about Ketchup and Mustard later on, Corey.
Look forward to hearing about that. LeFlore comes out in the shotgun formation with a young quarterback.
Hand off to Deontay Whitfield, pushed back by the Lions. They'll have none of that. That's about a 4 or 5-yard loss for LeFlore in their first play of the season.
Jaquan McKinney, the nose tackle, the junior, making the tackle on the play, but Keontae Whitfield getting the start at running back tonight for the Rattlers. And one thing, Cepeda Lewis, who's the offensive coordinator for the Rattlers, this Rattler program averaged 15.3 points per game a year ago, and first-year head coach Sean Burney is going to put his spin on things, and he wants to play ball control to go ahead and keep the Williamson Lions on the field as long as possible.
Second and about 12. LeSure rolls out, and he's just going to eat that one. He'll take another loss right there. Offense trying to get together. As you said, Cepeda Lewis is the offensive coordinator, but Coach Barney told me that he's going to kind of pretty much do play calling duties, try to get Lewis together, Corey, as the season starts off. So we shall see how things go tonight for the Rattlers.
That stop by Orrin Wilson, the outside linebacker. He's a junior for the Williamson Lions, but now you're playing behind the chains early. Are the Rattlers third down and 12 yards to go from your own 32-yard line right here? You would like to try to get at least 6 to 8 of these yards back to go ahead and put yourself in a comfortable punting position if you're not picking up the first.
Looks like Woodyard's trying to come in on the blitz. There he is, up the middle. The young freshman just kind of eats that one, and he is just bulldozed down to the ground. I believe he's down by contact. And Corey, just as you lifted your hand, I see 3 flags coming in. That's probably going to be unsportsmanlike.
It is unsportsmanlike. Anytime you lift the ball carrier up and suplex them WWE style, that's going to draw a penalty every single time. It looks good on a highlight film, but it actually cost your team yardage. Now LeFlore goes from 3rd down and 12 to possibly picking up an automatic first down.
That's correct.
That's exactly what that is. As we take a look at the replay, Robert Woodyard shows his strength by picking up the quarterback, DeAnthony LeSure, and that's some 200 pounds that he just picked off both feet and again suplexed him.
Personal foul against the defense. 15-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
So not enough to get the first down, Corey. 3rd and short, about 2 yards here. Ball sitting at the 42-yard line of LeFlore. So they've been given a second chance here as LeSure is talking to Demir Smith and Keontae Whitfield. See if the Rattlers can actually get a play off. They get it to Whitfield. He's trying to duck and dodge Woodyard. Gets around it, but oh no. There are the Lions with that stiff defense. They only gave up 14.7 points a contest last year. And we have whistles. I don't see a flag, but we do have a stoppage.
Don't know if it's going to be a timeout called before the play was run.
Timeout was called by LeFlore before the play.
That's huge for the LeFlore Rattlers because that was going to be a loss.
That would have been a significant
in that situation.
Loss.
But they're going to go ahead and call the timeout prior to the play being called and should still bring up 3rd down and 2 yards to go if the timeout was granted prior to the play being run. If not, then it'll bring up down to 4th down and 8, depending on when the timeout was called.
And right now, on the far side of the field, the down marker says 4th down, and they have adjusted the yardage stick, Corey. So maybe the timeout was called after the play because the yard marker says 4th down.
It does say.
And Ladd Stadium says 4th down. 4th down.
Looks like it's going to be right around 4th down and 6 yards to go for the Rattlers. You're on your own 38-yard line, so it's definitely a punting situation because you don't want to give Williamson that prime territory early here in the first quarter.
So it is 4th down. It appears as if LeFlore is going for it, but I think Coach Melvin Peters called timeout. We have a slight chess match going on, Corey. Was it too many men on the field, or?
11 guys on the field. They just want to make sure they do have their return team on the field just in case LeFlore goes ahead and goes to the special teams okie-doke.
Well, Jacoby Shaw went back for Williamson, but LeFlore came out with their offense lined up. So now it appears as if they have put on the special teams unit. Demir Smith back to punt for LeFlore, and setting up at his own 32-yard line is senior Jacoby Shaw. He caught that 50-yard bomb from Daniel Miller. First play of the ball game. Coach Pete came out punching the Rattlers in the mouth early, Corey.
Well, one of the things about offensive coordinator and head coach of the Williamson Lions, Melvin Pete, is he does not have a play sheet. He calls it all from how he feels on the field, so we'll see if that hurts.
High snap for Smith, but he gets off a booming punt. Shaw's going to field it at about his 24-yard line, coming to the near side here. He'll be wrapped up at about the 23 or 24, so the Williamson Lions about to take possession of the ball for the second time tonight here in the first quarter. As we saw LeFlore's offense, Corey, but we didn't see any positive movement. The only positive yards they received was from a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Kyle Bush on the stop for the LeFlore Rattlers, but you mentioned it, Al. What a booming punt, being able to flip the field for the LeFlore Rattlers. And I just mentioned offensive coordinator and head coach for the Williamson Lions, Melvin Pete, calls his own plays. He's right on the Williamson Lion 30-yard line trying to get a feel for the game, and I talked to him about that, and he says he's just able to recognize the way the defenses are aligned.
Right.
It's evident in that first play that he called with the big-time 50-yard strike.
Ball on the Williamson 32-yard line, and Smith leg whipped by one of the backers there and brought down immediately.
Great way of shooting the gap for the LeFlore Rattlers. Causes a 3.5-yard loss for the Williamson Lions. Going to bring up second down and 13 yards to go for the Williamson Lions. And now, again, that's the positive aspect that LeFlore wants to see. Defensive coordinator Anthony Anderson leading this LeFlore Rattler team, and that's exactly what he wants to see.
Second down and 14 for Williamson. Shaw to the right of Miller. Shaw takes the handoff, gets it up past the 35-yard line. Positive play there to bring up third down. We'll call it about 6 yards here coming up. Maybe about third and 5 coming up for the Lions score.
You and I had an opportunity to see Williamson in the spring here take on the Murphy Panthers, and we saw them be an explosive type of offense when Melvin Pete had only been on campus for a couple of months. But Jacoby Shaw, he's not a huge running back, folks, but he plays with a lot of heart, a lot of speed, agility, and quickness this back has. He's one of those scat backs that I know Coach Pete will go to frequently.
Ladd's going to call it 3rd and 6 as I originally thought. Miller's going to keep it up the middle. He goes. And Corey, he is going, and gone. Daniel Miller. And I see no flags on the field. That's going to be a 68-yard run for a touchdown, Corey.
And that was nice. I mean, right up the gut. The defense, the linebackers did not stay home, and because they didn't stay home, you look at Daniel deciding to go ahead and keep it in his gut, shows the speed that he has, and just outruns the secondary of LeFlore. He has his teammate Robert Woodyard convoying him into the end zone. Another 6 points on the board for the Williamson Lions, and they have absolutely have big-time plays, 68 yards.
64 yards.
64 yards. Then you turn around and you had a 50-yard pass earlier. So Williamson's already eclipsed 130 yards of total offense.
Hakeem Green on for the extra point. And it is good. Williamson on top, 14-0 over the floor. This is the Levi Washington Classic as we kick off the 2021 season of high school football with the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey Bounty. And Corey, Williamson has come out on fire.
Yeah, I mean, just big-time plays by big-time playmakers. You look at one of the impact players, Daniel Miller, the left-handed quarterback. He takes that to the house. He's made a big-time pass already to his scat back, Jacoby Shaw. And that's a big-time play by the Williamson Lions. LeFlore has to find a way right here to answer.
That, Corey, Williamson has recovered. And it is Williamson's ball in LeFlore territory.
And just like that, Al, an onside kick when you didn't see it coming. And the Williamson Lions get the ball right back as the football took a fortuitous bounce right into the gut of a Williamson Lion.
So 1st and 10 for Williamson, ball at the 39-yard line of LeFlore. And this is not starting off the way Coach Sean Burney wanted it to start off for his Rattlers. Quick handoff to Jacoby Shaw, weaving his way, Corey, and he's about to weave his way 39 yards to the house as the Lions are exploding tonight.
It's one of those things, they are having big-time gashing plays. Again, that's almost 200 yards of total offense for the Williamson Lions here in the first quarter. We mentioned the speed, agility, and quickness of Jacoby Shaw, and he shows it right there. But the secondary and the linebackers not at home for the second play in a row, and points off turnovers was very critical right there. Williamson taking 6 points very quickly within 13 seconds, scoring on the LeFlore Rattlers. And you know, if you're a LeFlore Rattler, you just have to play through this. What you want to do is right here on this opportunity, you want to capitalize. You have to sustain some type of drive here as the Williamson Lions are looking to score the 21st point of the game.
Green on for the extra point. May have an offsides right there. Some of the Rattlers got excited trying to come across the line and block it. Tonight, LeFlore dressing out 45 players. They have 8 seniors and returning 6 on offense and 4 on defense. We told you earlier that whole entire offensive line is returning. And Williamson, Corey, we haven't heard numbers like this in years for the Lions. They're dressing out 45 to 50 guys, and they got a few 7th graders actually suiting up. I don't think they're going to see any action tonight, Corey, but the way this ball game is going, maybe in the late third or fourth quarter, Coach Pete might put some of those 7th graders in. They have 14 seniors on the Lions squad this year.
Well, the explosiveness, again, the explosive plays is something that I know head coach Sean Burney wanted to stay away from.
Right.
And the onside kick just made things a little bit worse. But when you're able to have those one-play explosions, it hurts. The point after gives you an opportunity to work on a couple things.
Fake is on. Miller just throws that one away. So the score 20-0 as Williamson has come out just on fire tonight, Corey, with this offense.
Well, you're looking at their defense. They've only been on the field one time.
That's right.
Williamson Lions defense, and they're led by defensive coordinator Antonio Coleman, who is a fixture for this Maysville community and this Williamson Lions staff. Went on to play collegiately at Auburn, as well as in the CFL and in the NFL also. But when you have the core group of your guys coming back and they start believing in what you're doing, even though it's under a new head coach, Melvin Pete, the Williamson Lions are for real. And
they are for real.
Showed us that in the spring game, playing against a 7A school in Murphy. They're explosive. Their execution has been up to par so far. But the LeFlore Rattlers, they're going to have some growth to do, and they will continue to grow up not only in this game, but as the season continues. They have a great head coach who believes in this orange and green program, and I think that he's going to do great things for this Rattler program.
And that's something he talked about in media days, Corey. Coach Barney said the LeFlore job, he feels it's actually a gold mine. He was excited to accept the position and views this as a long-term plan. So this program has the elements to be a successful program. And so this is his first ball game tonight. He wants to definitely get off on the right foot. But right now, just want to get some positive plays, some positive yardage for LeFlore as they're going to start off at about the 29-yard line. With them, this is their second time touching the ball tonight.
Yeah, the biggest thing for the Rattlers on this particular drive, as it was going to be before the onside kick was recovered for the LeFlore Rattlers, is keeping the offense on the field, because you have a lot of guys playing both ways for the LeFlore Rattlers. And with that being said, Al, what is important is for them to pick up a first down. And it doesn't matter if it's through a penalty. It doesn't matter if it's through a blown coverage for the Williamson Lions. They just need to go ahead and make sure that their defense doesn't have to go right back out on the field and gets an opportunity to rest a little bit.
And speaking of rest, Corey, we're 38 seconds away from our first heat timeout. We're going to be talking with the principal of LeFlore High School on the other side of that break. So LeFlore will actually get a timeout here after this play. Heat timeouts will be recognized in each quarter, probably through the month of September. Rattlers connecting that one out. Taking a loss, trying to set up the screen out there to DeJuan LeSure. That's DeAnthony LeSure's little big brother. He's a sophomore, Corey, but the younger LeSure, the quarterback, is actually bigger than his little big brother.
And the important thing is that he completes passes.
That's right.
And gains some type of confidence, because we saw him earlier in the first possession step up in the pocket quite nicely for a freshman, had great pocket presence. The offensive line has to hold up just a little bit longer to give this young freshman an opportunity to go ahead and sling it. But I think this young man, DeAnthony LeSure, is going to be a special quarterback to come for the LeFlore Rattlers. And again, you want to take as much time off the clock as you can to give your defense an opportunity to rest.
Speaking of time, LeFlore took that one all the way down to 1 second as we are under 6 minutes here. And there is Ron Coleman going to signal our heat timeout. All right, right now we're going to take it down to the sidelines, and we're going to connect with the principal at LeFlore High School, Dr. Antonio Williams. Dr. Williams, we want to welcome you to the ball game tonight, the Levi Washington Classic, and we know you're new at LeFlore, so congratulations on being named a principal. How have you enjoyed the job so far, Dr. Williams?
I tell you what, man, first of all, thank you for welcoming me to the LeFlore family. It's been awesome so far. We're off to a great start, fantastic start over there on Donald Street. Now, I will be honest with you, tonight the game is not going as we expected so far. But we do have a young team, and we're building something special. We understand it's a part of a process that we're going to have to go through. So we may take a few losses this year, but we'll bounce back really strong with a good showing.
Well, that's something we talked about earlier. Coach Barney told us at media days he views this as a long-term project. He's not in to, get in and get out. You know how coaches can move around. So we're glad to have you on staff and have him on staff. So talk to us so far. School has been in session about, 8 days so far. So how are things going at LeFlore High School for the 2020-2021 academic year so far?
Yes, sir. sir. It's been 8 days, but it's been a long 8 days. But our kids are adjusting really well. We have a strong vision at LeFlore High School right now for rediscovering excellence. And so everything that we do right now is going to be about trying to make sure everything is done to a level of excellence and a level of expectation. We have a level of expectation for everyone to achieve at a high level. So even where people saying LeFlore is not a football school or basketball school, that's not going to be the case. We're going to be excellent in everything that we do, and we're going to compete at a high level in everything we do, whether it be football, basketball, swim, golf, academics. Everything is going to be done to a high level.
We're talking with Dr. Antonio Williams. He's the principal at LeFlore High School. Dr. Williams, tell us about LeFlore, the academies, and what you offer so parents, if they're interested in getting their child enrolled there, what do you guys offer as far as academies, and what do you do at LeFlore High School?
Yes, sir. So, first thing, we just try to make sure we offer a safe learning environment for all of our students. We do have a lot of emphasis that we're placing on academics and trying to improve our test scores. So that's the main focus right now, but we have a health academy. We also have a law academy. Both of those academies are flagship programs in our school. But we're trying to also add additional programs to attract students. We're looking to add a broadcasting program here very soon. And we're just doing a needs assessment with our student base to figure out what they are interested in and what they have a desire to go into, and we want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our students.
Well, Dr. Williams, thank you for stopping by and speaking with us. Welcome to Mobile and the Mobile County Public School System.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We look forward to chatting with you again later in the football season, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man, and go Rattlers.
All right, Dr. Antonio Williams.
Yes, sir.
Corey, he's a new guy in the area and taking over the helm at LeFlore High School.
Had an opportunity to meet with him when he was meeting with the parents and the students prior to the school season starting.
Okay.
And he's just a phenomenal leader, and I think he's doing a great job so far, trying to establish and reach out and bring back a lot of the traditions to this LeFlore program.
He talked about that program that you and I went through. It's common knowledge. We're LeFlore graduates. We both went through the television production. So to hear him say, trying to get the broadcasting back. So both of us kind of had a little beaming smile up here in the, not going to say in the press box, but at the top of the stadium here at Ladd Stadium, Corey.
No question about it. As LeFlore comes in at 3rd down and 2 yards to go, Richard Brunson did a wonderful job in TV production, establishing you and I, starting getting us on the path. And
that's right.
You're just looking at, like you mentioned, pathways that these young student athletes can take, giving them an opportunity to excel and grow, and no better place to do it than on 700 Donald Street.
4th and 2 coming up here for the Rattlers. Had a couple penalties to take place as we were talking to principal at LeFlore, Dr. Antonio Williams. Ron Coleman here coming up with the call. There's a shot of Melvin Pete Jr., head coach at Williamson High School.
Spending a lot of time at Aliceville High School. 4 years he did,
sure,
right around the Tuscaloosa area prior to coming to Williamson High School. A lot of people wanted to know where Coach Pete came from, and LeFlore is going to put toe to leather.
There's Demir Smith, another great punt we talked about. He's a great athlete and wrapped up immediately. They're going to down that one, I believe, at the 30-yard line. So great special teams play by the Rattlers.
MacArthur White, the wide receiver, making a huge special teams play. And sometimes that's what you need to spark your team, that big-time hit. As great hang time by Demir Smith, as you mentioned it, and nobody covers the gun man for the Rattlers, and he does what he's supposed to do in the open field, which is wrap up the receiver, and does a great job. 1st and 10 for the Williamson Lions from their own 30-yard line.
Jaquan McGinney coming onto the field late, taking his right tackle position for Williamson, as we're at the 4:03 mark of the first quarter. Game completely controlled by the Lions so far. Daniel Miller with 2 touchdowns, and Jacoby Shaw with an explosive 39-yard run. Little end-around action for the Lions. There's a flag on the play.
Looks like we're going to bring that one back.
I think it is coming back, Corey. Yusuf Clark had a great run, but it appears as if that flag will be against Williamson. Nice end around there.
Right there, Ron Coleman was on top of that, our white hat tonight. A very seasoned and veteran official he is.
That's correct. That's correct. So he's talking with the captain for LeFlore to see how they want to assess this. So there's the call holding against Williamson. That's it being a spot foul. Looks like he's going to push him back, Corey. Whoa. To about the 14-yard line. That's a severe penalty off that play right there.
16-yard penalty for the Williamson
That
Lions.
hurts.
Now you're bringing up first down and 26 yards to go. But if you're LeFlore, don't let anything get behind you. Your cornerbacks have to go ahead and make sure that they have great coverage on these explosive receivers.
Miller airing it out, trying to get it to Robert Woodyard. And the biscuit almost fell in the basket, Corey. As Woodyard tried to do his over-the-shoulder Willie Mays catch there, but just ran out of real estate.
It was a great throw to the far sidelines over here, and it's a situation to where if he would have kept it right inside those numbers, I believe Woodyard would have had an opportunity to go up and get it. But now you're looking at a long second down and close to 30 yards to go.
Here's the replay, Corey.
And you look at it, I mean, just not able to hold on to it. I think if he was
Woodyard
able to
just
catch
couldn't hold on to it. He had the feet. He had his feet in bounds, so he just couldn't hold on to it. But, I mean, he plays defense naturally, of course. So, what, I mean, you know, he's going to Alabama. That's not put the pressure on the young man. So, Ladd calling it 2nd and 30. Miller hauling it off again. They're trying to set up another screen that goes absolutely nowhere.
LeFlore doing an outstanding job of staying home.
That pass out to Cameron Cowan. And that LeFlore defense starting to tighten up.
Third down and close to 34 yards to go for the Williamson Lions. And if you're the LeFlore Rattlers, that big hit on special teams has created a lot of momentum on top of that penalty.
Really did.
But that's the kind of bounce that you need if you're the LeFlore Rattlers, not getting caught looking at the scoreboard trailing 20-0, but making sure that Williamson does not find a way to pick up this first down.
Looks like we have a timeout being called by Williamson. Since we have a break, let's have a break and talk about our good folks over there at Bishop State Community College. Registration for the fall semester at Bishop State is going on now. There is still time for you to join the Wildcat family at Bishop State Community College. The fall semester is underway, but you can still register for the late start term or mini term too. Either way, the time to register is now. They are open every day with extended hours to better serve you. Be sure to ask about available scholarship and grant opportunities. Stop by or visit their website at bishop.edu. Bishop State, a great place to start. Also, got to thank our folks at Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. So thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location for taking care of us with the Eats tonight. And lastly, Corey, we sure enough have a new crew tonight, BSN Sports, where you can get apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game, online at bsnsports.com.
Want to thank BSN for coming through at the last minute for us today.
Yes, sir.
Providing these game day polos for us, Al. And again, 20-0 our score. LeFlore wants this stop right here to get a little momentum and great field position on the plus side of the 50 for the LeFlore Rattlers.
This would be huge. Ball on the 12-yard line. We've talked about the play calling ability of Coach Melvin Pete Jr. for Williamson. Still 3rd and 30. They're just going to keep it. Another flag on the play as Miller goes up the gut. You talked about Coach Pete and his offensive prowess. Corey, the Lions offense has been wide open tonight. Coach Pete, you know, as you said, he's the OC, he calls the plays. He's been drawing up plays since he was 6 years old. His father served as an assistant coach for nearly 30 years at Jackson State. So to a certain degree, coaching is what Coach Pete knows. Corey?
It's exactly what's in his blood.
Yeah.
He's been around the game for a very long time. And when you find yourself without a play calling sheet as the offensive coordinator and head coach, you know you have to have a great feel for the game. There's only a couple of coaches that I've seen, Terry Curtis at UMS Wright being one of the other offensive coordinators or offensive play callers for his team, that's able not to have a play calling sheet. And during the spring game, this Williamson Lion team didn't even have headsets.
Right.
So it helped them a lot because the headsets weren't working at the time. It helped them a lot learn communication with one another, and that's one of the things Coach Pete talked about, the benefits of being able to communicate without having those headsets and having a feel for the game, which is exactly what he does.
So the penalty was declined by LeFlore. It'll be 4th down. Folks at the house may be wondering, how did they have a false start and the ball went forward? Well, LeFlore declined the penalty. They didn't want to give Coach Pete another opportunity, Corey. So back to receive for the Rattlers. See if we can get a number on him. But we have another stoppage in play. And no surprise there, that can happen at the beginning of the season. A lot of penalties, offsides against LeFlore. So they'll give Williamson 5 more yards. Demir Smith will probably move back to his own 30-yard line to set up for this punt.
And it's one of those situations for the LeFlore Rattlers. You don't want to give up any free real estate because you've already taken away a lot of it for the Williamson Lions. Now you're going to get this ball possibly, again, mentioned on the plus side of the 50-yard line, the best field position of the night, as the Williamson Lions are going to fake it.
Fumble, high snap. Green couldn't get it off, couldn't get it under control. So this has turned into a favorable situation for LeFlore High School, as they're going to place this ball at the 38-yard line of Williamson, and possibly LeFlore could get a slight piece of momentum going here. Corey, great defensive stand that they just put on.
We're here at the end of the first quarter with the Williamson Lions leading 20-0. As you see the punter just go ahead and take his eyes off the football, tries to run for it, but the LeFlore Rattlers are going to come away with outstanding field position, their best here of this opening quarter.
Ball at the 35-yard line of Williamson, their best field position of the night. As freshman quarterback comes back on the field for LeFlore, D'Anthony LeSure. As you said on their last series, Corey, they just want to get some positive yards, just get some positive plays, build up some good positive things for the Rattlers offense, because you're coming behind a freshman. This is the first time he's seen action in over 2 years. Didn't play last year, he was the 8th grader.
And all it takes is one completion, whether it's in the flat or out inside the middle, and get that offensive line moving, the defensive line a little bit, and there's that contact and finishing running by Demir, right. That's what you want to see, positive yardage in early down situations, which is something we didn't see on LeFlore's 2 prior possessions. But now you're going to bring up 2nd down and close to 7 yards to go, and it makes it a little bit easier for offensive coordinator Cepeda Lewis to call his plays into his young freshman.
Demir Smith coming from his 4-back position tonight. Hand off to Smith once again, and he is met on the edge by some Lions. He'll take about a 1-yard loss. Going to make it 3rd and 8 for the Rattlers.
Nate Richardson does an outstanding job coming from his cornerback position to up in the ball carrier, and that's one of those negative plays that the Rattlers want to stay away from.
That's right.
Going to bring up 3rd down and 11 yards to go. Is if you're going with the unbalanced line, you have to make sure that you get a hat on a hat.
Gotcha.
And if you're not able to do that, Al, just like the LeFlore Rattlers weren't able to do on that play, it's going to result in negative yardage. But you want to take as much time off of this play clock and game clock as possible if you're the Rattlers.
And that's one of the things Coach Barney wants to do. He wants to run a no-huddle offense and use the clock to his advantage. You know he has a freshman quarterback. That ball just out of the reach of Demir Smith, overthrown. It'll take LeFlore to 4th down. It'll be 4th and 11. And I'm sure the Rattlers will be going for this as they're sitting right there in no man's land, Corey.
Yeah, when you're in no man's land, you want to go for it in this situation because you don't really have anything to lose besides backing the Williamson Lions up possibly to inside their own 5-yard line. But the way your defense applied pressure on that last possession, you may be able to do so with your defense on the field. So you go ahead and you trust this young freshman quarterback, D'Anthony LeSure. You try to find your best playmaker. Need to complete here at least 12 yards to get the 1st down. And as the play clock gets down to 7, you may need to take that time out as we're about to end the 1st quarter.
And LeFlore does burn the timeout there. Now, Corey, I thought they called a timeout earlier. Ladd still says they have 3 timeouts. And I'm thinking that is Coach Barney's second timeout.
It is.
And the PA guy, DeMarcus Smith, just announced that's their second timeout.
And that's a good timeout because you're in a situation to where you're in 4th down and 11 yards to go. You want to give your offense a better opportunity, especially when you have a freshman quarterback. What I'd like to see here, though, is find a way to go ahead in this long down and distance situation. Go ahead and stretch the field vertically.
Open it up.
Let your big playmakers, your wide receivers, have an opportunity to go and make a play one-on-one. If you throw an interception, that's okay too, because again, you've given yourself an opportunity to create some sort of confidence. But the middle of that field, Williamson comes and plays this 3-4 defense, and you know they have outstanding linebacker play, but if the offensive line gives them just a little bit of time here, I think this young quarterback, DeAnthony LeSure, will be just fine and be able to complete one of the passes that he needs in order to get his confidence going in the right direction. 50
seconds remaining here in the first quarter. You're watching LeFlore versus Williamson. It's the Levi Washington Classic. I'm Al Whedon, joined by Corey LeBounty as we kick off a night of 3 in a row, a triple hitter. Tomorrow night we'll return to Ladd for James Clemens versus Murphy, and then on Saturday at 5 p.m., you heard me right, 5 p.m. on Saturday, it will be Blunt versus Viger with that ball game happening. And Corey, I'm looking for a tremendous turnout on Saturday afternoon. LeSure cannot escape the pocket and cannot escape the attack of the Lions as he is pushed back to the 46-yard line.
Outside linebacker Darian Pugh, he's the junior on the play. They weren't able to pick that up. The quarterback was not able to evade it, and he just comes untouched. And LeSure was not able to shake him off, and the Rattlers drive stalls, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Williamson Lions right at their own 46-yard line with 39 seconds remaining here in the first quarter of play, as early in the first quarter, Williamson just was eating up real estate here on this green turf here at Ladd Peoples Stadium, and gashed LeFlore for a 50-yard play and then a 64-yard run, and next thing you know, an onside kick, and it's 20-0 in favor of the Williamson Lions.
Yeah, before you could even wipe the sweat off your brow there, Corey. So that ball is actually being placed at the 46-yard line of Williamson. And we have an interception. That could be a pick 6, and it looks like it is, Corey. Just pushed out of bounds by Miller. What an outstanding play by Bryant Pleasant, B.J. Pleasant, for the Rattlers.
One of those leaders for the LeFlore Rattlers, and that's the type of positive momentum you need, as Miller looks like when he wants to throw the ball, it just ricochets right into the linebacker's hands, and that's a good job of Pleasant undercutting the route. And I tell you what, you look at the quarterback Miller, he never saw it. The linebacker undercut the route, and that's a great job. And LeFlore is right back in business, right in the red zone area with 24 seconds remaining. So it's just like they got another 1st down off of that sack, but here it is. They just need to find some type of offensive rhythm, and this may be the big play that sparks the momentum that LeFlore needs.
1st and 10, ball at the 11-yard line. They hand it off to Demir Smith, and he is wrapped up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, count them. 7 Lions, Corey, converge to take about a 5-yard loss for the Rattlers.
McGinney, the big nose tackle, he's a junior for the Williamson Lions, making the stop, and that's going to be the last play here of the first quarter in this inaugural kickoff game here of the 2021 high school football season.
And that's going to wrap it up. We're going to go to the second quarter. We'll take a break. Williamson on top, 20-0 over LeFlore. Don't move. We'll be back on the other side.
If you look at the numbers, Mobile County Public Schools is making great strides. With more than 53,000 students, 7,000 employees, and 90 schools, we are consistently increasing our 4-year graduation rate and our first-class pre-K program. We continue to strive for national recognition and continue to prepare our students for the global workforce. And we do all of this with one goal in mind: to equip and empower college and career-ready graduates. Mobile County Public Schools. We're learning today, leading tomorrow.
it was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
My name is Harshini. I'm a junior at Davidson High School, and after graduation, I plan on pursuing a career in dermatology. Currently, I'm taking science classes such as AP Chemistry, Biology, and Human Anatomy, which will help me pursue my career. I feel as though Mobile County is preparing me for my career choice in that they provide rigorous classes that help me think further beyond just what I'm learning. I'm Harshini Cannon, a junior at Davidson High School, and I'm learning today so I can be a leader tomorrow.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. LeFlore in a great position right here as we start the second quarter, 2nd and 13 after an interception by B.J. Pleasant toward the end of the first quarter. So LeFlore trying to get some points out of this turnover, Corey.
11 offensive plays for the Rattlers, 8 were negative, and that's going to be almost a touchdown, but it's ricocheted incomplete.
He did not get his foot down, Corey. Incomplete.
But, you know, you look at the Rattlers running 11 plays and 8 of them being negative, you're still in this game, Al.
Oh, you're still in it.
You're trailing 20-0 with that play right there. That was almost completed, but you see the young fella has a nice arm on him. It ricochets. He just could not hold on.
That was close, Corey. Look at the left foot of LeFlore right there.
I want to say he's still bobbling it.
But that may be the key. Did he have possession with his back turned right there? And neither of these schools have replay, Corey. So we can't take a look at that one.
Situation, it's a great play call for the Rattlers, rolling away from the pressure, which is something I think you'll see a lot more of for the Rattlers, is getting this quarterback into some type of motion, into some type of rollout to where he can find open wide receivers or tuck it and run it himself.
Great job on the crew in the truck there. Zero blitz coming at LeFlore. He just dumps it and gets rid of it. It does go past the line of scrimmage, so you don't have to worry about grounding coming up right there. But great shout out to the truck for getting that replay on for us.
Great look at it by our guys in our first game of the season also, and you wouldn't have known that by the great angles that they were able to bring on that play. But Orrin Wilson, the outside linebackers of the Williamson Lions, have been wreaking havoc on this LeFlore offense, and they're not picking up the blitzes, whether it's a delayed blitz or whether it's somebody just missing an assignment. It has caused this young freshman to be literally rattled as a LeFlore Rattler quarterback. And we already mentioned he is a freshman.
He's a freshman.
He's going to continue to learn as this game progresses, and he's going to start making those pre-snap reads to see where that pressure is going to come from as the season progresses, as we continue to watch him grow right in front of us tonight.
4th and 13, ball on the 15-yard line. Bobble snap. LeFlore gets it off, but incomplete. So it'll be ball over on downs. Once again, LeFlore can't pick up the first down. Williamson will get the ball deep in their own territory. Ball at the 15-yard line.
Charles Harris makes the crushing hit from behind, jarring the ball loose. I don't think it would have been enough for the first down, even if it would have been a completion. But it's going to be 1st and 10 Williamson Lions from their own 15-yard line with 11:33 remaining here in the second quarter. And the Rattlers just need to find another way to create negative yardage for the Williamson Lions here early in the second quarter.
Last series, they did a great job, that interception, but the series before that, they really pushed Williamson back into their own territory. Jacoby Shaw just to the left, Daniel Miller. They hand it off to Shaw. He goes nowhere, Corey. That's going to be a loss of about 1 or 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and maybe 11 here coming up for Williamson.
Great job of Kevin Moore staying home, and that's something that LeFlore didn't do early in the first quarter. Staying home, Jacoby Shaw had nowhere to go. Great job of wrapping up and bringing the ball carrier to the ground. And you look at Kevin Moore and Bryant Pleasant, both of them tag teaming from their linebacker positions, creating a 2nd down and 11 to go for the Williamson Lions.
Hand off once again to Jacoby Shaw. And boy, he has some quick feet. Immediately up to the 30-yard line. Flags on the play. One LeFlore player coming up limping there.
Going to look like a holding called against the Williamson Lions, but you see the speed, agility, and quickness of the little scat back. Does a good job cutting in the hold, a nice little spin move as well to try to finish the run.
Yeah, I think it will be all for naught, Corey. I have a feeling that was coming back as Ron Coleman preparing to give us the call here. But Shaw, man, he has some quick feet.
He really does. A lot of speed, too.
So there's another positive play negated by a penalty against the Williamson Lions. I know Coach Pete will not be happy about that at all. That's the second time with them touching the ball. They've had a positive play turned back because of a penalty.
And that's something that if you're the Williamson Lions, you're looking at the scoreboard, you want to find ways to continue not to look at the scoreboard. You want to go ahead and find a way to mash the gas pedal and not have negative penalties, not have situations where you have positive gains taken away.
All right, so that's going to push Williamson back to the 12-yard line.
And that's one of the things now, if you're the LeFlore Rattlers, you just turn the Williamson Lions over. You want to try to find a way to rake at the ball, try to get that pigskin to hit the turf, and again, get in great field position by creating turnovers or creating Williamson punting in long down and distance situations.
2nd and 15 coming up. I hear another whistle from the officials.
Ron Coleman coming over to the sidelines. Sideline warning.
So we have a sideline warning against Williamson. So the warning right there, the next infraction will result in a penalty.
Wanted to know where the get-back coach is, but I guarantee they find him real quick because you don't want that penalty.
Who is the get-back coach tonight? Right. But these are some of the things that can happen in the first ball game of the season, Corey. A lot of false starts, a lot of sideline warnings, delay of games possibly. But it's nothing better than actually watching us see some football, and a beautiful pass from Daniel Miller as he gets that one out, and that is a touchdown to Darion Pugh, Corey. Wow. Did you see the spiral on that from Miller?
Well, I think they're going to have an unsportsmanlike
and there
afterwards.
It is. There it is, yep.
But what a throw.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm not sure in my situation to where it was 13 that caught that football on my roster.
I thought it was 12.
I have Yusuf Clark. Is it 12? Can't really tell with the numbers.
No, it's 13, Corey.
So that's Yusuf Clark.
Yusuf Clark. He caught one earlier, so I told you Williamson was looking good with those uniforms tonight. But Yusuf Clark hauls that one in. Wow.
Let's look at it in stride. I mean, it's a situation to where it was an outstanding throw, but even better protection by this offensive line of the Williamson Lions, and you couldn't have dialed it up any better.
A 93-yard touchdown, Corey, from Miller to Yusuf Clark.
Just caught him in stride, and that's what we saw a lot of in the first quarter. The secondary really failing the LeFlore defense or finding a way not to be able to jam the wide receiver at the line of scrimmage. But it was a clean pocket and a clean throw.
Absolutely.
And Yusuf Miller with an outstanding reception. This young man is a freshman. Yusuf Clark is a freshman.
From Daniel Miller. Right, he's a freshman. From Daniel Miller to Clark. Wow.
So if that's something that you have to look forward to from a speed aspect when you start popping in the film, if you're playing these Williamson Lions, you have to start respecting the young freshmen as well.
So it looks as if Williamson is lining up for a 2-point conversion. But before we start,
I mean,
we have looks like a legal substitution, I believe, for Williamson.
That's one of the things, though, that you definitely want to clean up, because when you start playing in those closer games,
right,
especially region contests, you don't want it to cost you. And we've seen so many games be decided by special teams or the lack of execution on special teams. So Williamson will have an opportunity. We've already seen him go to the 2-point conversion early. That's why they only had 20 points on the board. But here's a situation now to where they'll still have an opportunity to go ahead and pull out the 2-point playbook. And I know Coach Pete doesn't want to go to his 2-point conversion playbook this early, but he's definitely having an opportunity.
Miller rolling out, and he does connect. No, incomplete. Robert Woodyard couldn't come down with it. Let's take a look at that 93-yard pass once again for a touchdown from Daniel Miller to Yusef Clark.
Yeah, look at the accuracy as we go into the break. Daniel Miller with a clean pocket, hits Clark in stride, and watch him walk away from the defense and take it to the house.
My name is Harshini. I'm a junior at Davidson High School, and after graduation, I plan on pursuing a career in dermatology. Currently, I'm taking science classes such as AP Chemistry, Biology, and Human Anatomy, which will help me pursue my career. I feel as though Mobile County is preparing me for my career choice in that they provide rigorous classes that help me think further beyond just what I'm learning. I'm Harshini Cannon, a junior at Davidson High School, and I'm learning today so I can be a leader tomorrow.
Get ready for Bishop State Volleyball. Bishop State's first ever women's volleyball team will host its first home game Thursday, August 26th at 5:30 p.m. against the Gadsden State Cardinals. The volleyball team is led by head coach Nicole Keyshock. The game will take place on campus at Bishop State Frederica G. Evans Cultural Center. We invite you out to check out all the action Thursday, August 26th. Bishop State, it's a great place to start, and Cora, we're glad to have them on board this season here as our presenting sponsor. Entire season. They're doing great things down at Bishop State.
No question about it. When you're looking to further, whether it is your technical career or academic career, you can do so here locally in Mobile, Alabama at Bishop State Community College.
So there was a flag on that play. It was a false start against Williamson. They have assessed the penalty. Williamson will kick off from their 25-yard line, but we know the try was no good, so the score is still 26-0. Williamson on top. Corey, I know it takes 4 quarters to complete a ball game, but I don't want to put too much stress on our buddy Charles in the truck, but he has a lot of Williamson highlights he needs to prepare for the video reel at halftime.
And they're quick banger plays, too, as this is going to be a high pooch kick.
Right.
LeFlore is going to have an opportunity to return it here, hopefully for some positive yards.
On the return right there for the Rattlers, Roderick Dortch. They're going to place the ball and spot it maybe about the 45-yard line of LeFlore. And as we have talked about, not trying to overstress it, but the Rattlers need some positive plays, some momentum to get some encouragement to get things going.
One of their impact players is Demir Smith, number 7 in the white jersey for the LeFlore Rattlers. They've not been able to get the running game established.
That's right.
And if you're not able to establish the running game against this stout Williamson Lion run defense, you have to find a way to possibly hit him in the flat or find a way to get it to your wide receivers as well. But the young quarterback right here, DeAnthony LeSure, he is a freshman, folks. He will continue to grow. And, again, you look at the head coach, Sean Burney. I know he's going to do a wonderful job for this Rattler program moving forward. He didn't take the job until everyone had already completed their 7-on-7. Only had maybe 1 week in the summertime to really learn his team. So he's only been on the job less than 2 months.
That's correct.
Whereas he didn't get a true spring with his team like his opposition, Coach Melvin Pete, did. And with that being said, he's not going to quit on his guys, and I know his guys aren't going to quit either.
Oh, no, he told us at Media Days, Corey, I think he had been on the job maybe 5 or 6 days before we met him in person here at Ladd Stadium for high school Media Days. So, but he's up to the challenge. He's ready for it. Little quick out by LeFlore. Incomplete, almost picked off by the Lions.
Intended for Josh Scott. And
Gordon Wilson on the scene.
If he's able to create some type of double move in that situation, I think the defensive back will bite in the future, and you can go ahead and hit him with the pump fake and go deep in that situation. But the LeFlore Rattlers were very fortunate. They did not throw an interception on that play, but this young freshman is going to continue to learn what's a good throw, what's a bad throw, to take what the defense gives them as we see the Rattlers in trips right.
Triple stack near side of the screen here. LeFlore hauls it off to Demir Smith, and Smith brings it in for a big play for the Rattlers. You called it, Corey. They need to set Smith up, do some off-running, some things, and there you have it right there. Triple stack pays off for the Rattlers.
That's what you want to do. Get the ball into your playmaker's hands. You allow the young freshman quarterback to complete the pass to the best player on the field offensively for the LeFlore Rattlers, Demir Smith. Now what that does is it brings it back because there is a penalty flag on the play, but from a confidence standpoint, after the holding penalty, it will allow the Rattlers to know that they have the ability to have some big strikes against this Williamson Lion defense.
So LeFlore getting a taste of what Williamson has experienced. Run off a big play, but then you have to walk it off because of a penalty. But we know first game of the season, you can have some holes like that, Corey.
And that's a situation to where if you are the LeFlore Rattlers, you go to the drawing board, you say, hey, that's a formation that the Williamson Lions defense has not seen before. Like you said, the triple stack formation. And when you have success in that, again, you can run another route out of that same formation and be just as successful as LeFlore going 5 wide, empty backs.
Empty set. LeFlore hauls it off, trying to connect with his older brother. And I believe that is an interception brought in, yes, by Williamson. That's an interception by Said Orange, cornerback, and he kept his feet in bounds, Corey. Very important.
The young freshman quarterback was falling back, did not have an opportunity to get his feet set, and because of it, a great job by the senior cornerback, Said Orange, getting his feet set in bounds, coming away with the interception, and a great shot by our crew. But that's one of those that the young quarterback, again, he's going to make those mistakes. He just come away with a big-time throw, but he didn't have his feet set.
Now, he wasn't able to step into it,
you know, was not able to step into that throw at all. You want to just go ahead and eat that one or throw that one out of bounds next time, and he'll learn from that in film review. But the defense for the Rattlers has to quickly get back on the field, and you better believe Coach Pete's going to go for the jugular right here.
Oh, I totally think he'll be doing that. Ball on the 35-yard line of LeFlore. Miller has already thrown a 93-yard pass and looks like he's trying to connect again, but is that intercepted?
It is.
Rattlers coming in. Yeah, there it is. Touchback in the end zone. So the Rattlers have now returned the favor with an INT of their own, Corey. I think that's Tamatra Wright. Tamatra Wright on the scene.
And a clean pocket for the quarterback for the Williamson Lions and Miller, but it was just tug of war, and the inside position by the defensive back came away with it. That's something that you wanted to see from this secondary early in the first quarter, to where you're in a position to where you have an opportunity, and Coach Pete's telling his senior quarterback, hey, don't get greedy. Go ahead and don't throw into double coverage either. But great job by the LeFlore secondary coming away with that as Wright comes away with his first interception of the season. And if I'm not mistaken, that's at least 2 turnovers for the Williamson Lions.
That's correct. That's their second. B.J. Pleasant picked off Miller earlier in the first quarter. And, Corey, I have to give it up to Wright there. I'm going to call that the moon pie interception. That was some great government street blocking out, if you know what I'm saying. He stepped right in, grabbed the moon pie. You've been in that situation, Corey, where you're about to grab it and some little kid snatches it right out in front of you, man.
Empty backfield again for the Rattlers.
LeFlore gets that one connected to Demir Smith. He's trying to dance on the line up to the 30, maybe 31. Is it enough for a first down?
Very close in this situation. I think on that far sidelines, they are moving the chains.
They are moving it.
You get that to your best playmaker as we're approaching the heat timeout here in the second quarter. 11 yards gained by the LeFlore Rattlers. They're now at their own 31-yard line. And this empty backfield with 5 wide has been pretty successful.
They have had some good looks so far, Corey, and I believe Coach Barney's going to stick to it, him and offensive coordinator Cepeda Lewis. Trips to the bottom. We're going to see LeFlore try to run it, and you're right, he tried to run it, and he ran nowhere.
Just not a lot of space given by that offensive line as we're going to approach our second quarter heat timeout here in the opening game of the 2021 season.
And I think the call is coming right now from Whitehead Ron Coleman. There it is at the 5:46 mark. We have our heat timeout. We'll take a break and come back on the other side with more action. Williamson is on top 26-0 over LeFlore for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Bishop State Community College.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
I'm Tracy Tran, and I'm in the Healthcare and Dental Academy at Theodore High School. In the Dental Academy, I'm working alongside dental professionals getting hands-on training from those already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job makes me want to work even harder because now I know what I want to be.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. To find out more, visit mcpss.com.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. LeFlore with the ball here, 2nd and 11. High snap. And it appears if we had a change in quarterback, Corey. I'm looking at my depth chart here. It looks like number 12. Number 12 in the game, Lamar Horn. Don't know if LeFlore is hurt or anything. But a quarterback change has been made.
And if you're the LeFlore Rattlers, when you do make that quarterback change, you have to find a way now. The cadence is different. The height of the quarterback is different. And that's what led to that high snap there. Not a lot of reps being given to the backup quarterback in this situation as they're struggling to get the play in here with 5 seconds remaining on the play clock. Don't know if they're going to get this play off in time.
Clock down to 0 there.
The flags come out, and that's something that we normally see a lot of in the first football game of the season, but you want to try to prevent. If you're both teams, you want to try to play as clean as possible. But Williamson leading 26-0 here with 4:45 remaining in the second quarter here at Lab Peoples Stadium. And like you mentioned, now backing up to their own 11-yard line. Don't want to have another high snap.
Looks like it's on the 6, Corey.
It's going to be a touchdown.
And that is going to be a touchdown, I believe.
It is a touchdown.
Because the offensive player could not get a hold of it for a possible safety. So that's a touchdown. Who came up with that?
Tyreek Gaines with the touchdown for the Williamson Lions. And anytime you mentioned it, you have a new quarterback in the game.
Right.
The center quarterback exchange, even in the shotgun, is a little bit different. And those inches make a difference height-wise. And he wasn't able to corral that one, and it led to a Williamson Lion touchdown. And that's going to be a negative 11-yard play for the Rattlers, but it's going to be a positive 6 on the scoreboard for the Williamson Lions as they now lead 32-0 here with 4:30 remaining in the second quarter.
And at this point, I'm thinking Coach Pete won't be chasing points.
Well, you do have
to chase the 2. You know, he went for it when he had 26 on the previous touchdown. But let's see if he'll go for 2 here. It'll make it 34 if he gets 2. So
here's the situation now. I mean, again, you're going to a lot of your 2-point plays, and if you're Coach Melvin Pete, again, he doesn't have a play sheet. He calls it from the top of his head, and it's something that they go over every day in practice. But he's having an opportunity now for his 3rd 2-point conversion of the game.
Miller rolls out, overthrows the receiver. But the good thing about it, Corey, you don't want to show your hand too much, but you actually can get game simulation, live play action for 2 points. And there's going to be an unsportsmanlike, possibly against LeFlore right there.
It's going to go both ways.
You think it'll be offsetting?
I think it should be offsetting in that situation.
We'll take a look at that. Right now we're going to take it down to the sidelines, and we're going to talk with lead teacher from Williamson High School, April Bell Bush. How are you doing, Miss Bush?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you?
We're doing great, but it's humid, so it's a little warm out tonight, so we're not going to try to hold you up too long. You teach at Williamson. You're a lead teacher. We're so glad you're joining us. I know you're excited about the school year. Talk to us about, so far, how has it been? 8 days into the new school season. How's it going?
Oh, my God. First of all, I'm starting year 25, so I'm excited.
Congratulations.
I am excited. I've spent 25 years here at Williamson High School, and this year we were just so glad to see the students come in. We missed them last year, and it has been awesome having them there with us. We're excited. Our enrollment is up. We have a lot of new teachers. We have a lot of new students this year. We have a new health service program where we're going to offer CNA training.
Okay.
And hopefully at the end of the year, we will have about 45 CNAs to graduate Williamson High School.
Wow, now that's getting career ready right there.
We're ready, and we're also excited about our signature academy. Of course, we have the Maritime Engineering and Entrepreneurship. So we're just excited. We're doing new things at Williamson. It's a new look, a new feel, and we're just excited about it.
Well, we see you have your spirit ribbons on right there. And I'm very excited. It's about football, but also we get to see the bands here. Corey and I, we didn't know if we were going to see the band so early in the school year.
Right.
Talk about the excitement that the kids are having on campus, because not only you have 9, 10, 11, 12th graders, you have some middle schoolers there on campus as well.
We do. We are so blessed. We're the only school in the district that's actually 6 through 12.
Okay.
And we have the cutting edge over a lot of schools because we have those middle school students there with us, and we get a chance to reach down to help those students, and we actually know a lot about them by the time they reach us in high school. This summer we got a chance to meet a lot of them, and it has just been awesome having them in the building.
Great. We're talking with April Bell Bush. She's a lead teacher at Williamson High School. I saw your principal earlier. Yes. I don't know why he didn't want to come on camera, but he said Miss Bush is going to be down there. So we got to shout out to Mr. Lang. Give him his props. He is in the building tonight. But we're glad that you all are hosting us here tonight for the Levi Washington Classic. And congratulations, you guys won the region last year.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, you won a state title in basketball. So Williamson doing some great things. So before you go, tell us lastly some of the things that are coming up in the near future at Williamson High School in the next month or two.
Coming up in the next month, we're getting our students ready for the ACT. We're trying to get our ACT scores up.
Okay.
We hosted a meeting with our juniors and our seniors today, and we basically, our theme for this year is Act Up, ACT Scores Up. That's what we're doing. So we're excited about that. We've assembled a great team of new teachers, a great team of previous teachers, and we are all focused on one school. We have one new school, the Williamson High School Middle Grades and Preparatory Academy, and we're just excited. We're just excited.
All right. Well, thank you, April Bell Bush, for stopping by and speaking with us this evening, and we wish you much success in the upcoming academic year at Williamson. All right?
All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
All right.
Had a penalty or two there, Corey, as LeFlore picking up a first down. Ball now placed at the 35-yard line. You can see the moon, Corey, but it is cloudy, and as the BSN weather forecast predicted, it is humid.
Yeah, it's definitely humid, and something you haven't seen a lot of yet is cramping. I don't know if that will play a factor in the third and fourth quarter, but here it is. You have the young freshman quarterback, LeFlore, back in the game.
Completes it to Demir Smith there.
And that's important. I mean, the best playmaker for the LeFlore Rattlers is Demir Smith, the wide receiver who's a senior. and you've seen him run the football for the Rattlers as well as receive the football, and then he'll continue to get stronger and better as the season progresses also. But 4:26 remaining here in the second quarter. LeFlore trailing 32-0. Not really having a lot to be excited about, but you want to try to get some momentum going into the half right here.
Hand off to the back there for LeFlore. Keontae Whitfield. I don't know if they're going to credit him with a yard or not, Corey, because the down marker hasn't moved.
Third down and
maybe
5
no gain
yards
there.
to go. No gain on the play. And Al, if I'm the LeFlore Rattlers, I would continue to run this play clock down to almost 0 before I snap the football, because you don't need to be in any type of hurry. You want your defense to continue to stay well rested.
Tosses it out to Whitfield, incomplete. And if he had caught that ball, Corey, he was going absolutely nowhere.
Said Orange, we've called his name earlier in the game, making the interception.
The Orange Crush.
And that definitely was the Orange Crush right there by Said Orange, the cornerback senior, laying the hammer down on this LeFlore wide receiver. But LeFlore coming away with a punt here on 4th down and 5 yards to go. On their own 40-yard line here, Williamson will have an opportunity to try to strike the Rattlers on the scoreboard once again.
High snap to Demir Smith. He's just going to try to escape and just gain whatever he can do. The most explosive, talented player for the Rattlers on their team. And he almost gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, Corey, but he took a hit at the end right there.
If he would have been an Australian punter, he would have been able to get that away as he rolled away from the defense who was looking to block that punt.
Yeah, punted rugby style there.
Punted rugby style. As you look again, the high snap, he was able to roll to his right, and if he was a rugby punter, he would have tried to get it away right there. But good spin move right here. Hit the circle button.
Trying to make something out of nothing. Now, I thought there was going to be a delay of game. So maybe the officials just kind of had that half second before the clock hit 0. They didn't throw the flag. So 1st and 10 here for the Lions. Another situation, great field position for them. Ball on the LeFlore 39-yard line. Ladd says it's 40, but my eyes tell me it's the 39 from my vantage point, Corey.
One-on-one coverage here at the bottom of your screen. The Williamson Lions have an opportunity to see if Daniel Miller can throw another strike.
Hands off to Jacoby Shaw. And he is pretty much just wrestled down by one of the LeFlore defenders there, holding onto his jersey. He scraps along and picks up maybe 7 or 8, Corey, on that play. 2nd down and short here coming up for the Lions, ahead of the sticks here.
The ball is spotted right here at the 32-yard line, and quarterback Daniel Miller travels all the way to his own 40-yard line to get the play from the head coach, Coach Pete, and there's going to be a timeout on the field called by the LeFlore Rattlers.
LeFlore calls a timeout with 3 minutes and 1 second remaining in the half. Got to thank our folks over there at BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game, online at bsnsports.com. Also, thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman over there at the Green Light Road of Firehouse Subs. We want you to enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. So thanks to Firehouse Subs. And also to Bishop State Community College. Want to thank them as well. Don't forget registration for the fall semester at Bishop State. It's going on right now, so make sure you take advantage of it. Visit the website, bishop.edu. Bishop State, a great place to start. Second and 3 here for Williamson. After that timeout from LeFlore, they are officially out of timeouts in the half here. Miller just throws that one away.
Great pressure by the Williamson
Flag on the play,
line defense.
Flag on the play.
Tyreek.
So Miller threw it away, but I saw the flag there, just waiting for Ron Coleman and the crew to give us the call.
Kevin Moore, excuse me, with the defensive pressure for the LeFlore Rattlers.
That call going against Williamson.
And now, considering this is the first game of the 2021 season, there's a fairly nice crowd out here at Lad Peoples Stadium.
I agree with you.
And we want to thank
Very
everyone
nice crowd.
for tuning in. However you're viewing this game tonight.
That's right, 5 different ways. Channel 15 on Comcast, Channel 81 on MediaCom, Channel 99 on Uverse. If you're watching us on the stream on Facebook or YouTube, we do appreciate it as we make history here tonight, Corey, broadcasting 3 high school football games in a row, back to back to back. And Williamson going back to Jacoby Shaw, and my eyes aren't deceiving me, Corey. He's almost where he was tackled when he previously ran the ball.
He was. Bryant Pleasant.
Look at there.
With the stop for the LeFlore Rattlers. And
wow.
It looks like head coach Pete is in no hurry to go ahead and strike again before the half. Just looking to drain that clock and take what the defense gives them, because that LeFlore defense has been on the field for an excruciating amount of time here in the first half.
Up the gut going for Williamson. Jacoby Shaw once again brought down around the 2-yard line. Nice run by Shaw back to back as he continues to mount yards against this LeFlore defense.
First and goal now. You look at Shaw, and what happens is the LeFlore defense has been on the field for a long time, and you start seeing arm tackles, and they're able to get them to the ground here. It's going to bring up first and goal for the Williamson Lions from about the 3-yard line of the Rattlers. And again, you just take what the defense gives you, just a ground and pound type of situation to where Jacoby Shaw probably has close to 100 yards rushing here in the first half here at Lad Peoples Stadium.
Ball on the 2-yard line as Shaw approaching 100 yards. And Corey, yes, I'm going to say it for the next time in the first half, another flag on the play, delay of game against Williamson. And we do know this is something that will be dealt with and addressed with the coaches after this ball game. We expect to see a bit more of it Friday night and Saturday. Now, hopefully we won't, but we're used to it. It's a part of that first game of this year.
The biggest thing you want to stay away from in the second half is the cramps and the injuries, because you know LeFlore wants to stay as healthy as possible, and here the Williamson Lions wants to look at the board to find a way to get better also. And unfortunately, I said at the beginning of the broadcast, find a way to keep Ron Coleman and his crew busy moving the chains, not the flags coming out of their pockets tonight.
So offsides against LeFlore would be half the distance to the goal. They give the 5 yards back to Williamson. First and goal, ball on the 2-yard line. 1:26 remaining in the half. Al Weed and Corey LeBounty here for the Levi Washington Classic, also known as LeFlore versus Williamson. Lions all in control, putting up 32 points in the first half tonight.
Daniel Miller already has 1 rushing touchdown. He's going to give it to the up back this time.
Big back hands it off to him, Jadrian Clipper. I'm going to say he didn't motor, Corey. He just kind of trudged his way for about 1.5 yards there.
He's a sophomore, giving it to the up back, and you're exactly right. And it looks like we're going to have an injury timeout.
Okay, injury time. I thought Coach Pete had called timeout. He has 1 remaining. Trainer comes on the field for the Rattlers. See if we can get a number on that particular player.
Looks like it's going to be 24 for the LeFlore Rattlers.
There he is, kind of getting his bearings, hopping up. At Ashton Yates, I believe. 24, right?
Absolutely.
Join Homeroom with Renee Phillips and find out the latest homework tips and what's happening inside the schools and classrooms. It's Homeroom with Renee Phillips right here on the MCPSS TV network. Corey, we talked about the uniforms of Williamson. I like that look. I like the look of what LeFlore has done. It's a very simple thing. It's like they say with renovations. You slap some paint on it, it looks totally different. they put numbers on the helmet, Corey.
Yeah,
just a small, subtle change.
I agree with you, and it's that type of thing that's going to create
nice
excitement for this program.
Right.
And, you know, you go into halftime and you try to find the positive. You try to find a way to go ahead and go and change what the dynamics are.
Jacoby Shaw up the middle for about 1 yard, and that is another Williamson touchdown.
Williamson punches in another one, and let's see if they decide to go for their 4th two-point conversion. But I do see a flag on the play. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, no,
here.
don't say that. Don't say that, Corey.
It looks like we have another LeFlore injury.
In the back of the end zone there. Warren Coleman and his crew discussing the call.
Just a 2-play drive there for the Williamson Lions, as they had short real estate to deal with, and trailing 38-0. That's tough going into the half if you're the LeFlore Rattlers.
Personal foul against Williamson. Personal foul against LeFlore. And you know what that equals, Corey?
0.
Offsetting penalties. See if we can catch it on the tail end of the play here. Possibly right there at the top of the end zone. Top of your screen to the left. As we call that back in the day, a little jaw-jacking going on, Corey.
Well, I tell you what, if you're the LeFlore Rattlers, you don't want to do much talking. If you're the Williamson Lions, you let the scoreboard do the talking. And
right.
You just play through that, because you don't want to see yourself get ejected this early in the football season. But Williamson leading 38-0 here in the second quarter. Looks like this time they're going to have an opportunity to go ahead and kick the extra point instead of going for 2. And I was wondering, were they going to make it 4 opportunities to go for 2, or whether they were going to let Hakeem Green have an opportunity to kick the extra point. And
right, looking to the sideline, they're maybe calling for another player to come in, and maybe they're short 1. So they're going to send in Tyreek Gaines. Kick is up for Hakeem Green, and it's good.
And another flag.
And a flag on the play,
point.
Corey. So we'll see how that flag comes out. We'll take a break and come back, bring you more action here. The MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
This is a program for any middle school student who's actually behind. This opportunity offers kids a chance to do 2 grades in 1 year.
If it wasn't for Star Academy, I would still be in 8th grade and probably still struggling.
We are one-on-one. We have small classrooms, and we're able to give students that personal touch, that personal attention.
I know I'm coming to see good teachers, good attitude, and also they're here to teach us what we need to learn.
We welcome you back to Ladd Peoples Stadium. Al Wheaton, Corley Bounty here for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Williamson all in control, 39-0, putting up 39 points in the first half, Corey.
Yeah, that's not
Coach Melvin Pete and his offense on fire.
And it happened early, and I mean,
it did.
The first 3 possessions, you look at a 50-yard bomb that set up a quick score for the Williamson Lions. Then you turn around and you have a long burst of a 64-yard quarterback run, and then you have an onside kick that leads to another long bomb, and just like that, you're down 20-0. But the Williamson Lions, they're going at halftime. They'll talk about it. Hey, look, let's try to put another 38 points on the board from an execution standpoint. Keep these penalty flags in the referee's pockets. And if you're the LeFlore Rattlers, you just want to find some type of positive effort in the second half to build on moving into week number 1, because this is technically considered week 0 in the AHSAA.
Now, I don't know if that was a planned onside kick or he actually just muffed it. But it went about 10 yards, but LeFlore was right on top of it, Corey. So good for the up guys right there.
You know, you like LeFlore Rattlers to be aware they got caught slipping on the first onside kick, and whether it was on purpose or not, it's a situation to where the Rattlers are going to come away with great field position with 43 seconds remaining in the half, and it gives you a perfect opportunity to work on your 2-minute offense.
That's right.
Because you really want to put points on the board or have some type of sustained drive, because as we mentioned in the first quarter, 8 out of 11 plays for the LeFlore Rattlers were negative yards, and here in the second half hasn't been much different, but you do want to find momentum, and here's the same formation that they're going to run.
There it is, trips to the near side, inside of the hash, as a matter of fact. Low snap to LeFlore. And I think the young man may have been confused of trying to get rid of it or something, but Corey, we may have another one of those personal foul penalties or unsportsmanlike right there against Williamson, slamming the player down to the turf. They're not going to tolerate that.
Something we've seen probably a little bit too often here in the first half than anybody would like, from coaches to fans alike and those watching at home. But it's a situation to where if you're LeFlore, you want to try to maintain your composure.
Right.
And not getting caught into any extracurricular activities. But the whistle clearly had blown when the Williamson defender went ahead and continued to tackle the LeFlore player. And you want to stay healthy if you're the young quarterback for LeFlore. And he did everything he could to stay healthy because the whistle tried to save him, but the Williamson line defender made sure that didn't happen.
We'll wait the call here from Ron Coleman. 14 seconds remaining in the half. We haven't been able to hear Coleman all night, Corey. So personal foul against LeFlore, personal foul against Williamson. And as we said a moment ago, offsetting penalties. So we'll have a do-over. Second down for the Rattlers, second and long. As LeFlore dumps that one, and no one was home. I think he was trying to go to Demir Smith, but no one was home, and that is the end of the first half. As Williamson on top, 38-0 over LeFlore, Corey.
And it's something that's a little bit surprising now when you start thinking about what the expectations were for the LeFlore Rattlers, even though it's a short turnaround for their head coach. Like you said, had only been on the job 5 or 6 days prior to us having media day 1 month ago. And if you're the LeFlore Rattlers, you really want to talk about it at halftime in regards to finding your identity and momentum to start the second half. And if you're Williamson, you want to play like this game is 0-0.
Right, you do, you sure do. Great opportunity there with Williamson just putting up 38 points, complete control of the first half in the ball game tonight. And I'm sorry, 39-0. Ladd has it at 38-0, Corey. So we'll double check our score to make sure we have it correct on the other side. Keep it right here. We're going to come back with halftime action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-age children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
Each month, more than 90 guns are reported stolen from unlocked vehicles, creating the potential of serious injury or death.
Lock it up.
Many violent acts and crimes are committed with stolen guns.
Lock it up.
According to ATF, stolen guns pose a substantial threat to public safety.
Lock it up.
Be responsible. Take time to record your handgun serial number and secure it from thieves. Lock it up.
Lock it up for me.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. Corey, we talked to the guys in the truck, and as far as we know, the score is 39-0.
Yeah, that extra point was good.
Right.
It kind of grazed the crossbar there, but it did go in, and that's the biggest thing. And that's one of the things for the Williamson Lions that I know they want to improve. If they're going to score touchdowns in the second half, they want to work on that kicking game. They were able to get that onside kick, which was the biggest part of their kicking game, but they've had to go for maybe 3 or 4 two-point conversions so far, something that I know you don't want to give away that many two-point conversions to your opponents that are scouting you. You want to give them surprise looks, not anything that they've already seen on film before.
Now, the bands are here, and the bands are in the stands playing. So Corey, you and I, we're getting a show, but unfortunately, the bands are not on the field as of right now, so it's not a problem. So we have a lot of things lined up we're going to talk about at halftime. And at the top of the show, typically you see our buddy Kimberly Dunn on the sideline. She's not with us tonight, so we're looking forward to having her later on in the season. Just couldn't make it out tonight. But she's missing a doozy, Corey, because Williamson coming out with this offense. We talked about Coach Pete and his offensive mindset, not even using a play chart. He's been drawing up plays since he was 6 years old, and he drew up some doozies tonight, and we'll show those later on in our video recap later on in halftime.
The biggest thing, 20-0 at the end of the first quarter. The Williamson Lions were able to go ahead and have that long throw to Jacoby Shaw out of the backfield. He was able to catch that, set up a 1 or 2 yard touchdown run by the quarterback, Daniel Miller. And then you turn around and LeFlore kind of stalls and sputters on offense, maybe goes 4 plays out. They punt the ball. Williamson then turns around and has a huge gaping run for the quarterback. He runs close to 64 yards for that touchdown. And then they turn right around and get the onside kick and then have another explosive touchdown play as well. And just like that, it was 20-0 with 8 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and the LeFlore Rattlers were pretty much shocked from there. But again, both teams have an opportunity to go into the locker room. And we take a look at my checklist, going back to see what LeFlore needed to do. LeFlore really needed to establish the run at the beginning of the contest. And because they have not been able to establish the run with Demir Smith, and with that being said, Al, it's kind of hindered their abilities to have positive yardage.
That's true, that's true.
Also, they needed to take away the turnovers. We've seen them turn the ball over maybe one time, but have created turnovers, and they needed to pause the penalties. That's something neither team has been able to do. For Williamson, on the other hand, make adjustments on the fly. Well, when you're up 20-0, it's easy to make adjustments on the fly. They needed to control the trenches. They've been doing a good job of that because overall yardage, they have over 250 total yards in the first half. And special teams play is going to be critical for the Williamson Lions, not only here in the second half, but as the season progresses. You want to see those special teams be exactly that, is special. And it's a situation to where the Williamson Lions don't want to get caught looking at the scoreboard going into the second half. If you're the LeFlore Rattlers, you don't want to get caught looking at the scoreboard either, because you want to play like it's 0-0 and play with a lot of that Rattler pride and find your identity here moving. So when you go in to play your next opponent, you'll have a little bit of confidence going and doing so, Al.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back and look at the state polls brought to you by the Alabama Sports Writers Association. It is halftime here at Lab People Stadium for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
My
My name is Harshini. I'm a junior at Davidson High School, and after graduation, I plan on pursuing a career in dermatology. Currently, I'm taking science classes such as AP Chemistry, Biology, and Human Anatomy, which will help me pursue my career. I feel as though Mobile County is preparing me for my career choice in that they provide rigorous classes that help me think further beyond just what I'm learning. I'm Harshini Cannon, a junior at Davidson High School, and I'm learning today so I can be a leader tomorrow.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
Welcome back to halftime. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Al Wheaton, Corey LeBounty. Williamson on top, 39-0 over LeFlore. Let's take a look at the preseason polls, Corey, brought to you by the Alabama Sports Writers Association. Starting in 4A, the defending champs Handley are ranked number 2, one spot behind the team they beat for last year's title, Gordo. Region 1 champs Williamson, they're right there at the mid-pack, Corey, at number 5. This is the Lions' highest preseason ranking since 2005. They are followed by 2 other area teams. At number 8 is Mobile Christian, and at 9 are the Vigo Wolves. We're going to see them Saturday taking on Blunt here at Ladd Stadium. Just outside of the top 10, you have the Jackson Aggies sitting right there with 18 votes. Let's take it on up to 5A. Defending champs St. Paul's. They start the season where they finished last year in the number 1 spot, and behind them receiving their highest ever poll ranking, the Faith Academy Rams, the Fighting Jack Frenches, are number 2. UMS Wright slots in at number 8. The last time the Bulldogs started this low in the preseason poll was back in 2011 when they also ranked number 8. On up to the 6A poll. The 2 teams that met in last year's Super 7 final are 1 and 2 again. 6A champs Pinson Valley claims the top spot with the Spanish Fort Toros on their heels at number 2. They're playing Fairhope tonight on the hill, as a matter of fact. McGill enters the season in the number 7 spot, and Saraland is outside the preseason top 10 for the 2nd year in a row. Corey, I'm a little surprised Saraland nor Blunt in the preseason top poll in 6A. A little shocker there.
Well, Jeff Kelly uses that as motivation for his Spartan program, and you know, he tells the guys all the time, we're going to be in a situation, fellas, to where, okay, you want to earn your respect, right? And we're going to have to do that in between the hashes. But, you know, Blunt having a lot of success with Lev Holly moving on, and Coach Sumter, the former Williamson coach, taking over for that program. Look forward to a great and outstanding crowd here on Saturday at 5 o'clock. But as you mentioned, really no surprises when you start looking at Spanish Fort being in 3 out of the last 6 state championship games. Coach Ben Blackman and them have a 7-3 lead over Fairhope at this point in time.
All right, let's take it up to 7A for the last poll. The 2-time defending 7A champs Thompson, they open the season on top once again with their last 3 playoff opponents right behind them. Hoover at 2, Auburn at 3, and Hewitt Trussville at 4. Theodore slots in at number 6. The Bobcats, this is their highest preseason ranking in 21 years. And the Daphne Trojans received their first ever 7A preseason ranking, coming in at number 7. And look at there at number 9, Corey, the James Clemens Jets. We'll see them tomorrow night when they play Murphy.
And they had an opportunity to one-up Murphy in regards to they played a jamboree game against Oxford one week ago. And Oxford is a very, very strong powerhouse in football, but they were able to defeat them in that jamboree game. So look forward to seeing what the Jets have for the Panthers tomorrow night here at Lab People Stadium. And as you mentioned, a historic triple header for the MCPSS television network.
That's right.
We love high school football and bringing it to you right here on the MCPSS television network.
So there it is, the 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A state polls brought to you by the Alabama Sports Writers Association. Coming up, we're going to be talking to the Mobile County Public School System's athletic director, Brad Lowell. We're efforting to get him on camera and get a mic for him as well. So make sure you stick around for that. It's coming up just on the other side of this break. We're going to talk with the AD, MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Don't move.
The 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Register at signatureacademyshowcase.vfairs.com. Representatives from all 12 high schools will be on hand to talk about our academies. This event is open to all 7th and 8th graders and their parents. So register today and have your questions answered regarding your child's transition into high school and into a life-changing career path. It's the 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m.
When it comes to getting your child through school, at times it can be overwhelming.
What school to choose, what classes to take, how to apply for college.
To help answer these questions and more, we would like to invite you to join us on Parent Connect as we take an in-depth look at some of the issues and concerns you may have about your child's education.
So get connected with Parent Connect, weekly right here on the MCPSS TV network.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. As you see, Williamson on top, 39-0 over LeFlore. Corey, I'm going to have to get you to send a text to DeMarcus in the press box to verify if it's 39-0 or 38-0, because he's right next to the guy on the clock.
There's been so much scoring by the Williamson Lions that we've lost track of how explosive this offense can actually be. And there's been so many missed extra points, it's hard to keep up with as well, but we'd have to go back and break it down with our statistician to go back and check ourselves. Just to double check. But it's a situation now to where early in the season, what do you want to see improvements on in the second half of play? Of course, if you're the Williamson Lions, what are you talking about at halftime? You're talking about finding a way to improve the penalties and finding a way to continue to protect your players and stay injury-free. And that's the biggest thing for Williamson at this point in time. If you're the LeFlore Rattlers, you're talking about, hey, guys, we need to play with a lot of pride. We need to continue to play like the score is 0-0, play with a lot of excitement. Don't come out here dead and like walking zombies. It's a gut check time early for the Rattlers, but I know their head coach will have them very well prepared here in the second half to show what they're truly made out of.
And someone who's familiar with both coaches and both coaching staffs, we have the athletic director for the Mobile County Public School System joining us right now, Mr. Brad Lowell. What's going on, Brad? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How you doing, guys?
Man, we are doing great. Last time we saw Brad was at the Coach's Fish Fry, brought to you by the Crichton Optimist Club. So, Brad, first game of the season. How are you seeing things so far?
Well, I'm just excited to be out here. I'm excited to see the ball kicked off tonight and the season get started. And, I mean, it's just a great night for football. Nice crowd out here. I think a lot of people were looking forward to this night getting started, and we're just real excited about it.
Well, I know Corey and myself, we were definitely excited about it, and we're excited about the triple hitter coming up. We have LeFlore and Williamson tonight, James Clemens and Murphy tomorrow, and then Viger and Blunt on Saturday. Just kind of give the viewers an idea, like, what does it take to put all that together, Brad? I mean, that's a lot of undertaking, isn't it, man?
Oh, it is. There's just a tremendous amount of logistics and teamwork that has to go into it with all the schools administration, and just everybody that comes together to make these events happen for our student athletes. And yes, I mean, we put in hours and hours and hours to have events like this take place. So it's a lot of manpower, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but you know, we love it. We love doing it for the student athletes,
right.
And we're happy to see them out here.
Yeah, we know. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
And Brad, it's not only football that's involved here in the fall. You also have volleyball that's getting started along with cross country. So there's a plethora of student athletes that are already on campus involved in a lot of student activities.
Yeah, and we're excited to have our students back on campus and can participate in all the activities that we see. Fall sports is kicking off this week, obviously with football tonight, but as you mentioned before, swimming, volleyball, cross country, cheerleaders, band, I mean, you name it. Just seeing the kids out and being engaged and having fun, I mean, that's what it's about.
It really is, Brad, and you and I have talked about the excitement that not only football brings, but the Mobile County Public School System being the largest school system in the state of Alabama. You talked about the blood, sweat, and tears and the undertaking of that. I know right down the office from you now, you have a new co-worker, and he formerly roamed these sidelines as well. Lev Holly has moved into an administrative role within the MCPSS. I know a lot of people weren't aware of that, wanted to know where the new Blunt head coach was and where he came from, but he's right next door to you now. Tell us a little bit about what Coach Holly's doing.
Oh, I mean, it's just having Coach Holly right there at central office and working with him. I mean, just not only brings another level of experience there, but also the help that he brings, the excitement that he brings, the passion that he brings for our county with the superintendent, and as sports oriented as he is and the support we get from him, you know, bringing Coach Holly down for us and for me, I mean, that's been a blessing. And Coach Holly's been great. I mean, he hadn't been on the job but for a couple of weeks, but those couple of weeks I can already tell a difference in his excitement and passion to really get going and try to just help our schools every way, any way that he possibly can.
All right, Brad, we do appreciate you stopping by. And I know you're excited because your show's going to be coming up pretty soon here, Inside Athletics. You ready for it?
I am. We, of course, had to postpone it there for a while, but I'm excited to get back to it.
All right, Brad, we do appreciate it. We're going to try to get on Williamson's head coach, Melvin Pete, here to talk with him right quick before we go into the second half. So we're going to take a quick break and come right back. We'll talk with Coach Pete with Williamson. Don't move. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. Williamson on top all over LeFlore, 39-0. Right now, we're going to take it down to the sidelines. Talk right quick to head coach Melvin Pete Jr. of Williamson. Coach Pete, first half, you guys came out with the first play, knocked LeFlore right in the jaw. Talk to us about your offensive output tonight.
Well, we still have work to do, but on certain things, we look pretty sharp. The running game in the first 7 minutes of the game, but then we had some lulls. We have to work on those lulls as far as having our guys to still have the same energy. So I kind of noticed that we're not in tip-top shape like I really want us to be.
Right. We do know that first game of the season, you get a lot of penalties. I know kids get a little excited there. Would you talk to your team in the locker room by halftime about staying focused here in the second half?
Well, actually, we did talk about handling things with class. We get penalties, then we just got to walk away. We can't be the one that are going to get throwing something or pushing second because they always catch the second person.
Coach, in the second half, what are you looking forward to seeing your team improve upon here as they not get caught looking at the scoreboard, leading 38-0? What do you think the improvements, and what are you looking forward to seeing out of your team?
Actually, ball control. Let's see if our offense are going to put together a 10 or 9-play drive.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. We'll let you get back to the sidelines. We do appreciate your time. Coach Melvin Pete right there of Williamson on top. Ladd still has it 38-0. We calling it 39. So, Corey, I'm going to wait for you to get that text message back from DeMarcus, and I'll see if we can get the official call. Right now, let's look at the schedules for both of these teams coming up this season here. We have LeFlore and Williamson. I do know LeFlore, they are off next week. So, Corey, they kind of get to play a game, then take a bye. So we'll get these schedules up and take a look at them here. Here's the schedule coming up for the Rattlers. As I said, they have a bye next week, and then, Corey, on the road back-to-back. That's two tough ones, UMS Wright and Faith Academy. We talked about them being ranked in the 5A poll.
Well, we always ask coaches in the preseason media day, do they like to have early buys? Well, this is a situation for LeFlore. Well, I think it can come at a good time because now you have something on film, on tape to improve upon. If you have any injuries, you can go ahead and take care of those quick little early nagging injuries. It gives you a week to take a look at your next opponent, UMS Wright, as well as they open the season against the Baker Hornets.
That's right. Look at the rest of their schedule. First home game will be against Satsuma on September 16th. They'll take it out to Cottage Hill. And that rain game on November 30th, Corey, I believe we are scheduled to broadcast that game later in the season. And they'll wrap it up with 3 home games right here at Ladd, Theodore, St. Paul's, and Baldwin County. Let's take a look at the Williamson schedule if we can get that one up for the upcoming year. They are the defending Region 1 champs, Corey. We called that game last year when they beat Mobile Christian for the title. So they are the defending Region 1 champs playing LeFlore tonight. Next week, they got a tough one at Faith Academy. I mean, right out the gate. That's a 5A contest. Williamson is a 4A school, but that's a good test for Williamson.
You mentioned having to wait 13 years to win a region championship. Yep. Well, now they're trying to go back-to-back. And even though this is a non-region game, it was a classic game between LeFlore and Williamson 1 year ago, 14-12 in favor of the Williamson Lions. But if you are the Williamson Lions players, you're looking at your schedule knowing how important it is to try to maintain home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. And how do you do that? By taking care of your region games.
Right. You have to do that.
Doesn't get easy for Williamson early at Faith, at St. Paul's. St. Michael has a brand new head coach, and people know him as Phillip Rivers, the great future Hall of Famer right here on the Gulf Coast now. But the Williamson Lions, under this new coaching staff, have come together quite well here to start off the 2021 football season. And we had that Viger game 1 year ago here.
Sure did.
And it'll be fun to watch those guys play late in the season too. But the schedule doesn't get easy for any school here along the Gulf Coast.
Does not. Williamson taking the field as they will be kicking off to LeFlore as we are seconds away from resuming the ball game here. Williamson on top 38-0. Corey, I do appreciate the information, so I let the guys in the truck know it is official. The officials, the score is 38-0.
38-0 is the score right here at Ladd Peoples Stadium. And if you're looking at the LeFlore Rattlers, you'll have an opportunity again to try to build off of any momentum that you did have. You saw the young quarterback, DeAnthony LeSure, have a couple of successful passes to Demir Smith in the flat, and you want your best playmaker to have the football, and they were able, offensive coordinator Cepeda Lewis finding a way to get his best playmaker the football. But here it is, the second half of action. If you're LeFlore, you want to try to build and play like this game is 0-0.
Demir Smith to Matra Wright, and DeJuan LeSure back to receive this kick from Williamson. As we get the calls from the official, Hakeem Green setting up on the 40 to kick this ball off. One thing I like about this, Corey, you can call it a blowout or not if you want to, but the crowd is still here for both sides, Williamson and LeFlore. So I'm thinking that folks here in the stands, they want to see some more football tonight, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is football is being played regardless of what the scoreboard says. A great turnout, like Athletic Director Brad Lowell said, and here it is, the Rattlers get the ball at their own 20, trying to get some momentum going.
To Matra Wright, smashed right there at the 29-yard line where they're going to mark the ball with his forward progress being stopped. Got to thank our folks at Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation to help provide life-saving equipment to first responders. So thanks to Firehouse Subs, and also thanks to BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game, online at bsnsports.com. And don't forget, registration right now for the fall semester at Bishop State is still going on now. Simply stop by or visit their website, bishop.edu. Bishop State, a great place to start. LeFlore starting at the 30-yard line. That's what they're going to mark it. Here in the third quarter, Corey looking to improve offense and just get some positive yards as they start the second half here against Williamson.
Yeah, that's what you have to have, early down and distance.
Right.
And it's a situation also, too, with the score being 38-0. I wouldn't be surprised if we go to a running clock here in the third and fourth quarter because, again, with the game getting out of hand so early, you want to see both of these teams not have any injuries, even though LeFlore has a bye week. You still want to see the situation. There's no need to slow up the game here when it is a 38-0 lead for the Williamson Lions.
And we're at 9 o'clock starting the third quarter, so we have received word the running clock has been instituted. Demir Smith picks up a yard or two for LeFlore. Well, I'm sorry, doesn't pick up a yard. Tackled for a loss there for the Rattlers. Pushed back to about the 28-yard line. Maybe 3 yards on the loss. First, second, and 13 coming up here for LeFlore. The young freshman still in the ball game, Corey LeSure.
Yeah, I can't express enough and let people know that, again, LeFlore's head coach did not come in until almost 3 weeks prior to school starting. So he was only with these guys for less than a month. And because of it, I mean, you don't have an opportunity to have the advantages that the other coaches had, which was to have a spring game and to institute your system, to get to know the community and the players. And I know Coach Sean Burney is going to do a wonderful job. He's very familiar, again, with the school. Him being a running backs coach at Blount 1 year ago, I think he's going to have an opportunity to put his mark on this program. As the principal of LeFlore said earlier, the scoreboard does not indicate the type of hard work that has gone in so far by this LeFlore Rattler program.
And the numbers up for the Rattlers as well. But I believe when he got there this summer, he said he may have had 23 to 25 kids. And right now, he sent us a roster 2 pages long, Corey. So he's up to about 45, 50 kids. Demir Smith, legs taken out from up under him by the Williamson Lions defender. It's going to take LeFlore to third down and long once again.
Staying behind the chains, fourth down and close to 20 yards to go.
I'm sorry, fourth down, you're right.
A lot of negative yards for the Rattlers in early down and distance situations, and that's what you want to try to stay away from. But credit this Williamson Lions defense for being extremely tough, led by defensive coordinator Antonio Coleman. And now you're at a situation to where LeFlore has not scored, but Williamson wants to try to secure this shutout. They take a lot of pride in defense and trying to keep that goose egg on the scoreboard.
Yusef Clark lining up at his own 40-yard line. He hauled in that 93-yard pass from Daniel Miller in the second quarter. Takes it on the bounce, weaving his way into LeFlore Rattlers territory. Got one guy to beat, Corey, and that is Demir Smith. Flag on the play once again, and Smith tosses Clark out of bounds. That's close to possibly being a personal foul. No late flag, but a flag did come in during his run back, Corey.
This is a young man for the Williamson Lions who is extremely explosive as a runner, as a freshman runner for the Williamson Lions. And that's the biggest thing as a coach. You see it in practice every day, but you're waiting for the public to see the type of speed. And you see the punt that was gotten off by LeFlore and the return on the bounce.
See if we can catch the penalty here.
By Clark, it was right at the point of attack, maybe a block at the back
right there
at the top of the screen, because I know the flag came in at the top of the screen, but he shows his speed, and what an outstanding return by the young freshman that's going to be all for naught and brought back.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. as the sticks are coming back this way. We'll get the call from Ron Coleman here. We're at the 8:29 marker of the third quarter. And you can see the athleticism of Demir Smith as he did not allow Clark to get into the end zone, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations to where he did not want the returner to score, and he was going to make sure he didn't score. And because of it now, after the penalty,
so
first
blocking
and
the
10,
blocking
it is
the
blocking the back.
Ball at the 47-yard line of Williamson. Another situation where a positive play negated by a penalty, Corey.
That's something that I know they're going to focus on next week, and they're definitely going to have to clean up.
And when you're playing a team like Faith Academy next week with Jack French, you're going to have to be on top of things like that.
Ball control is what the head coach of the Williamson Lions
he called it.
Asked for.
Jacoby Shaw on the carry, about 2 yards.
And we'll see with this running clock, at what point in time does Coach Pete say, I want my younger guys to get an opportunity to get some valuable reps?
Right.
Because everyone that's dressed out tonight for the Williamson Lions has put in the same sweat equity as their brothers left and right of them, so they want an opportunity to hit that field too, and I think here in the fourth quarter they may have an opportunity to do so, especially with the running clock.
2nd and 8 here for Williamson. Lined up in the pistol formation, Shaw behind it. Behind Miller, takes the carry. Another 1 or 2 yards for Williamson, continuing to ground and pound. You talked about the fact that Coach Barney did not have an opportunity to get a spring practice. And Coach Pete told me when I sat down with him the other day, since spring, he has seen the team be built on competition, Corey. The level is high. They're all competing harder to secure and earn their spots. And you can see that tonight. A lot of freshmen stepping up tonight for the Lions.
And that's what you have to do. You have to be ready when your number is called. And I think this number 13 is going to be special as Jacoby gets around
Shaw
the
at the
outside.
top, cutting the edge up top. Just outside the 40 there into Rattlers territory at the 38-yard line, and that's a first down from Williamson. So Williamson moves the sticks all 3 runs, Corey.
The thing that's going to stop the clock, though, is going to be the injuries, along with the heat timeouts here
LeFlore
in the second
down.
half. And that's exactly what has happened for LeFlore. Player goes down.
Looks like number 2 for LeFlore. B.J. Pleasant, he had an interception earlier in the contest. Matter of fact, that was the first pick of Daniel Miller during the ball game from his Mike position. Want to let you know, late start and mini term 2 registration for Bishop State's fall semester is underway, but there is still room for you to join the Wildcat family. Join us for the late start term, which starts after Labor Day and ends before Thanksgiving, or you can join us for mini term 2, which begins in October. Either way, the time to register is now. Visit their website at bishop.edu or stop by and let them help you get your great Bishop State start. So, Corey, we at 6:34. I noticed on the scoreboard at Ladd, they have not replenished timeouts, Corey.
Yeah, it's
and
a situation.
with the running clock here.
Yeah, I mean, you have that official timeout.
We have
there.
the officials, so I believe they're taking a peek at B.J. Pleasant.
And it'll be
they have to
interesting
come out
see
this play at least.
Whether Ron Coleman observes this as the heat timeout.
Right, if he'll do that, because we're so close to 6 minutes, you know, with that being a dead ball with the injured player. So we'll see. We'll keep our eye on Ron Coleman. Even with the Lions up 38-0, the Lions marching band still continuing to bring the heat tonight, Corey.
A little coming to America action.
Right.
Being played by the Williamson Lion Band. And that's the only other thing that will stop the clock as well. It's penalties by either one of these teams. So penalties and injuries are the only things that can stop us from getting to the finish line here in the first game of the MCPSS television season.
And there's one other thing that could possibly stop us, Corey. Between the third and fourth quarter, we're going to get on our first edition of the Game of the Week Brainbuster.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I think I probably last year batted probably about 500 on your brain buster.
So we're gonna get that on for sure. Offsides against LeFlore. I saw our engineer, Fran Conaway, twiddling around with the microphone for Ron Coleman, but I don't think he had the magic touch tonight, Corey. Ron is still silent. 1st and 5 here for the Lions. Once again to Chobe Shaw, running behind the right tackle, and boy, that line makes a big, big hole for him. Into the red zone once again for Williamson, as Shaw ends up at about the 15 or 16-yard line.
Coach Pete talked about it. Ground and pound is what he wanted to do to go ahead and milk this clock away here in the second half of action. As you look at the handoff from Miller to Shaw, the ball security is there, high and tight to his body. He's so elusive, quick to be such a little fella. He can change direction so quickly, and if he gets out into any type of space, you can go ahead and give him 6.
So we are under 6 minutes. And I'm going to say that 6:34, that was our heat timeout right there. Once again, hand off to Shaw as he running behind that line, right through the A-gap between LaDerrick Lane and Eric Lane. He picks up about 4 or 5. Shaw is so small, Corey, in stature, he can kind of hide behind guys and scoot and scat. Makes it tough for defenses to wrap him up.
That's a great point, and not only that, with his quick feet.
Yeah.
You don't know whether he's going to dart left or dart right behind that big offensive lineman when he disappears. So you're almost trying to tackle shadows in that situation, as little as he is. But this is a young man who definitely, as a sophomore and junior, you watched him continue to get better as the game went along. And we know about the speed that he has. You can't replace a young man's heart.
Miller rolling out. Looking to connect with Yusuf Clark. I'm sorry, not Yusuf Clark. That's number 17 right there for the Lions. Incomplete to Cameron Cowan. Just past the outstretched hands of Cowan. Be 3rd down for Williams.
3rd down and 6 yards to go for Williamson. And they're in the red zone area, somewhere that they've been very familiar with here.
Oh, they've been in red zone all night.
Tonight.
Oh, yeah. They have been in the red zone all night tonight.
And it's been with explosive plays. Some coaches design explosive plays to anything that's over 15. Some say over 25. But no matter what, anytime you can start getting plays that are over 40 and 50 yards a pop, you've done your job offensively.
Delay of game called against Williamson. We've seen that call many times tonight, Corey, and I'm expecting it a few more times tomorrow as well.
Yeah, you mentioned about the first game jitters and cleaning it up. James Clemens, who's coming in here to play Murphy tomorrow night, they had an opportunity to have a jamboree game as well. So they have that experience in their pocket early.
That's right.
We saw Williamson in the spring game against this Williamson Lion team, and even though they kept score on the score, against Murphy on the scoreboard, you knew that Murphy was going to have some weapons too, and look forward to seeing them.
Going to Clark with the little out pattern. Did he get his foot down?
He
and
did.
There's the signal. Yusuf Clark hauls it in. A 17-yard touchdown pass from Daniel Miller to Yusuf Clark.
You're just going to take what the defense gives you. You run, and then all of a sudden Daniel Miller just drops back. He's left-handed. He throws to the left side of the field, and who does he find? His young freshman wide receiver who's making a name for himself here at Ladd Peoples Stadium in his debut game as a freshman. Pretty spectacular debut if you ask me, Al.
And the Williamson Lions continuing, the band continuing to belt out the Coming to America theme there. One Williamson player trying to get off the field before they snap this. Kick is up for Hakeem Green.
It's good.
And that one is good, Corey. From my vantage, I thought it was no good, but it's good. So the score is 44-0 as Williamson all on top of LeFlore. We have more action on the other side of this break. Don't move.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-aged children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
Off of a 17-yard pitch and catch from Daniel Miller to Yusuf Clark, Williamson extends their lead by 7 points, 45-0 over LeFlore. Right now, Corey, this has turned into the most lopsided contest ever in the Levi Washington Classic. Williamson defeated defeated LeFlore back in 1981, 41-0. So I know LeFlore wants to get some points on the board, but you talked about it on the previous possession. Williamson wants that shutout tonight, Corey.
They do, and, you know, you look at that onside kick. I don't think that's an intentional onside kick. I just think that's the way the ball is coming off of the foot of the kicker. And it's been taking some strange bounces, and they were almost able to recover that. But if you're LeFlore, again, this running clock, really, to be honest with you, is your friend in this situation because it keeps you healthy as the train comes down the tracks here, and the fans get a little excited when the train comes down the track here in Maysville.
That's right. And Corey, on the replay, he definitely shanked that one. It looked like my drive on number 5 at Spring Hill this past Sunday when I played golf for my birthday.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did
one.
your birthday swing go?
I had a good time, but I shanked a few right there at the hill at Spring Hill. But it looked just like one of my slices when it came off his foot there. So don't worry about it, young man. Just keep trying. Keep trying. That's what I do.
Going to be a timeout called by the Rattlers.
Timeout from LeFlore, so this is interesting. The ball is kicked off to them, and immediately a timeout granted. Even though there are no timeouts on the scoreboard, there's one for Williamson because we were told it's a running clock. So I don't know what, but hey, it's the first game of the year for the game clock operator too, Corey. So
well, I can tell you this:
we'll let them slide.
The fourth quarter will go by extremely fast. And I really only expect it to stop for injuries.
Well, maybe we
and
can
the heat timeout.
We can get our Game of the Week Brain Buster question queued up and ready. So bring it on in, Quentin and Wade. Bring it on in if you can. Let's see if we can get Corey ready for some academics this season here for the Game of the Week Brain Buster.
See what you got.
All right, here it is, Corey. In what year did Williamson and LeFlore play each other, and both teams had new head coaches?
That's a multiple choice question now.
Oh, there you go. First game of the season. You're talking about multiple choice.
That's
Corey.
A multiple choice question.
Come on, Corey. We'll give you the answer coming up shortly here, hopefully between third and fourth quarter. Maybe our third or fourth time calling this young man's name tonight. Robert Woodyard gets the interception, Corey. I'm not saying he had an off night tonight, but we haven't really talked about Woodyard too much tonight.
Yeah, he's let his teammates do a great job. And when you start talking about this Williamson Lion defense, Orrin Wilson and Tariq Gaines have been very busy tonight for the Williamson Lions. And we've seen offensively Woodyard play for the Williamson Lions receiver also.
Right, almost brought one in Willie Mays style, but couldn't put the biscuit in the basket there. So that was early in the first quarter, I believe. So there was a false start against LeFlore, which is declined. So the interception does count there for Woodyard. So take a look at the replay here. LeSure throws it once again off his back foot, couldn't step into it. And Woodyard right there just dropped into coverage, Corey, and picked it off.
Yeah, that's too easy for that young man in regards to his special skill set. There's a reason that he's going to play or has verbally committed for the Crimson Tide.
Right,
he just shows a little bit of it, of his athleticism. Is an outstanding basketball player as well for Shumbay Hunter and this Williamson Lion team. Won the state championship a couple of years ago.
Yeah, sure did. Picked up a championship ring for himself there.
Now let's see if the Williamson Lions continue to try to ground and pound as they have a new running back in the game.
Miller hands it off. Flag comes in on the carry. Jadrian Clipper. And another late flag comes in on top of that one, Corey.
Well, I know, in honor of Santee Gamble, who I know will have the Viger Blunt game.
You couldn't wait to Saturday. You had to get one in, didn't you, Corey?
Look, I know I waited all game long, but that's probably the 35th Old Dirty Rag on this field tonight. And it has become a flag fest to where the clock can't even continue to run.
We can't have the running clock run, huh, Corey?
Because we've had
John Vila's cracking up over there. AL.com reporter John Vila to our right, back here dying at our comedy of errors, that we'll call it that, Corey. We're not comedians, man.
Right.
We're nowhere near that talented, but you're right. It has been a plethora of yellow tonight, I will say that. 1st and 15 for the Lions. Toss it out to Robert Woodyard. Let's see what he can do with it, Corey. He's got a couple blockers in front of him. Woodyard gets it down to about the 22 or 21-yard line.
Just padding those overall statistics. He wants to be a Mr. Football candidate, and that's one way to do it when you're able to produce offensively and defensively. You look at Miller with a little play action right in the flat to Woodyard, and he does a nice little juke move and makes a couple of defenders, and he shows that stiff arm and the strength that he has, making sure he secures the football
I like how he was patient, waited for his blocking as well.
He knows what to do with that pigskin once he has it in his hands, and Daniel Miller knows that when he's at receiver, who he wants to go to.
1st and 10, ball on the 21-yard line. Williamson knocking on the door of the red zone once again. Just over the outstretched hands of Cowan. And Corey, you're signaling flag, and I see it right there at the 21-yard line here on the near side.
I know what Williamson school colors are. I don't need any reinforcement of that on the football field.
Oh, man. Well, White Hat, Ron Coleman and his crew, they definitely got the work out tonight, Corey.
Well, I tell you what, Ron Coleman, he's definitely got his TV time for tonight for sure.
All right, false start against Williamson. That'll push him back 5 yards. Speaking of Robert Woodyard, Coach Pete told me he's watched Woodyard mature and relax into a more level of comfort around his teammates, and he's been guiding the younger guys as a team leader, Corey. He's a senior. He's been playing 4 years here at Williamson, so now really stepping up to provide some leadership and help out the younger guys. Flag once again as Clipper on the move, close to a first down marker, but we had flags immediately after the ball was snapped.
It just hasn't been clean. It has not been clean the entire game, and I know that you had an opportunity at halftime to work and see those adjustments, and for both teams, it's something that you just don't want to see a lot of. But unfortunately, we just can't get into any type of rhythm.
Right. First quarter went, pretty quickly. Now, Williamson did have some big plays in the first quarter to make things go pretty quickly, but since we've come out of halftime, with the running clock, we've kind of lost that rhythm there, Corey. Cannot seem to find it.
Well, I know one thing's for sure. The referees are going to have to use their washing machines tonight because those flags are going to have the Tide detergent put on them. And hopefully tomorrow night there won't be as many.
2nd and 20, handoff to Clipper once again. Big hole there provided by offensive lineman Eric Lane from his right guard position as Clipper barrels on through. I'm thinking, Corey, at the rate we're going, fourth quarter, we may not see Miller or Woodyard. We may see some future Williamson Lions.
Yeah,
We've seen a couple tonight, but we may see some more.
If you have 8th graders who are ready to play on this stage, go ahead and play them. If you have 9th graders that are ready to play them on this stage. I mentioned to you at halftime that you have the guys who have put in as much practice time as the varsity starters have, and here it is, the Williamson Lions have scored another touchdown.
Incomplete.
Okay.
To Cowan. Incomplete. He went back to Cowan again. They've been reaching out to Cowan and to Clark tonight. Take Williamson to 4th down. 4th and 4 here And the clock has run out. So, Corey, it is the end of the third quarter as Williamson on top 45-0 here over the floor. So we put the question out there, Corey. So let's put it up again. You've had a little time to think about it. See if we can take a look at here. The guys from the truck pull it up. All right, Corey. Here's your game of the week, Brain Buster. In what year did Williamson and LeFlore play each other, and both teams had new head coaches? Don't look at the screen. It's kind of freaking out right now.
2021.
2021. Let's see what the answer is. Well, that's the question right there. The answer is 2012, Corey. It was Dietrich Sumter's first year and Anthony Schamberger's first year. Not too far ago, Corey.
You're
not too long ago.
And both were very successful. You look at Coach Sumter being the dean of the coaches
for Mobile County
Public Schools
going into his 10th year.
Coach Schamberger being a former LeFlore graduate as well, having an opportunity to put his mark on the program. But, 2012 and 2021, both of these programs now with first-year head coaches.
Once again, in the same year. In the same year. Matter of fact, full disclosure, Anthony Schamberger, that's my classmate from LeFlore, Corey, along with former LeFlore coach Christopher Raymond. Chris Raymond.
Yeah,
so, both my classmates. We graduated together.
A lot of tradition there to where the Rattler Pride used to be what a lot of people talked about, and I remember LeFlore in 1994 with Stanley Connor making the playoffs for the first time in school history.
Right.
And you talk about the Jesse Fieldhouse. Coach William Bill Jesse is a legend, not only here locally, but statewide as well. And anytime you take over a tradition like the Orange and Green at 700 Donald Street, it's never going to be easy.
No.
1-9 a year ago, the LeFlore Rattlers were, and they want to try to exceed that this year and not really getting off to the start that they would like to have had here to begin the 2021 football season. But the Orange and Green strike is going to be back. Don't give up on this team early. Again, you want the community to continue to support them. And when do you support anybody? You want to support the good with the bad.
That's right.
And you are wanting to support these young student athletes, these young 14, 15, 16, and 17-year-old young men who are giving everything they have, as well as the cheerleaders and the band. So
and the
I
parents,
encourage
everyone
to continue to come out and support the LeFlore Rattler program and the direction that Coach Bernie has these guys going in.
Willie Maddox on the end around there. No gain on the play, so it'll be second down and about 10 here with the ball on the 11-yard line for Williamson. Just inside the fourth quarter, Daniel Miller still in the ball game. And Corey, I'm just going to say it, even at the 10-minute mark, Miller's looking like my candidate for the
player of the game.
Career Tech Education Player of the Game. Easily.
I like that so far, and I think at this point in time that you have to let the clock run even during penalties. And it doesn't matter what the penalty is. Let the clock run.
Are you saying you're trying to send a text message to the new AHSAA Executive Director Alvin Briggs and say, to Mr. Briggs, here's my text message coming in.
Absolutely.
When the clock is running, I needed to run during penalties.
Run during penalties too, because it's not going to make a difference when you're in a 45-0 ball game. As holding is going to be called against the Williamson Lions.
Bringing them back.
It'll be interesting to see here. I'm going to try to tally up the number of penalties.
Well, I know our statistician, China Powell, she got some help tonight. New stat guy on the crew, Matt Moore. They've been at it with their pencil. I literally think they had to pull the abacus out tonight, Corey, to add up all these penalties tonight. I think they had to pull the abacus out. Wide open in the end zone. There he is, Yusef Clark. Corey, this young man is quite dynamic, and as I said, leading contender for the CTE Player of the Game. Daniel Miller with another touchdown for Williamson.
I tell you what,
wow.
I don't know whether you want to go with Daniel Clark, but it looks like a free release. There was no even bump by the corner.
Beat the coverage.
And I really like this young freshman as a candidate for Player of the Game as well. You're talking about a true freshman.
Second touchdown tonight, Corey.
And his speed has been spectacular. So that's something on film that everybody has to take a look at for a young freshman. Not really tall in stature, but they always say speed kills.
Yeah, he's got some wheels on him, man. He's got some wheels on him.
You mentioned the largest deficit in this contest probably being
it's
to 44
Well, it was
points.
41-0. It's eclipsed now at 51-0 easily. So, yeah. So this would be the most lopsided win for Williamson and LeFlore in their
I'll be honest
storied history of playing each other.
I'm going to do a little research, but I believe this is one of the largest margins of victory for any Williamson football program.
Possibly so, Corey.
Go back and look at the number of points they've scored, or their highest point total ever, and I guarantee we're approaching that.
Fake, as they toss it, and that is complete. Tyreek Gaines on the two-pointer, and we're going to take a break as the lead has been extended 53-0, Williamson over LeFlore.
When we say Bishop State Community College is a great place to start, we really mean it. Want to major in psychology, engineering, criminal justice, English, history, or something else? Take your general education courses with us, then transfer your credits to the four-year university of your choice. Want to learn a trade and go straight into the workforce? We have the programs and the trainings to help you land a high-wage and high-demand career. Save time and thousands while conveniently taking classes safely online or on campus. Register now, bishop.edu.
You are watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. I want to thank them for getting on board with us this season. Al White, Al Wheaton, Corey Labani. Corey scores out of hand. I can't remember my own name. Al White, who is that guy? I'm Al Wheaton.
Well, I tell you what, somebody who has not forgotten his name tonight and made sure of it is your possible career tech player of the game, Daniel Miller.
Yep.
And Yusuf Clark.
If I'm correct, looking at my own personal statistics, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 touchdowns accounted for by Miller, 2 rushing and 3 passing, Corey.
Very impressive numbers by the senior left-handed quarterback for the Williamson Lions. And, you know, sometimes you have to play with momentum, but I would be shocked if I saw him touch the field offensively again.
Yeah, come out again. I would be shocked.
And you did quick research, Al, about what the largest margin of victory for the Williamson Lions program has been. 1960, Al. You just found out that they won 97-0.
97-0 over Harper High School. 97, that's the largest margin of victory. But for this rivalry, this is now the largest margin.
Absolutely.
53-0 over LeFlore.
It looks like.
I think we have had a switch in quarterback scoring.
Back. Yes.
Darion Pugh, I'm sorry, not Darion Pugh, but Lamar Horn in for the Rattlers, number 12.
Yeah, it's his second opportunity tonight as we saw the young fellow LeSure have an opportunity to where he went off one series, and now LeFlore again. That's when they had that bad snap that was scooped and scored
right
for the touchdown deep in their own territory. But the clock continues to run. 7 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of play. The Williamson Lions comfortably ahead, 53-0.
I thought we would have gotten to it earlier, but so much happening on the field. Still on the field right now. Ketchup and mustard for LeFlore. We told you we'd tell them about it. Well, Jamari Niles is ketchup and Darion Pugh is mustard. Offensive coordinator Cepeda Lewis, they called him the team comedian. Gave them the nickname, Corey, because of the color of the pants they were wearing on the same day. Called them ketchup and mustard.
Well, it's good to have bookends that can be ketchup and mustard.
Right tackle, left tackle.
Rattlers, that's right. And you're talking about a young man who's a junior, or both young men are juniors. Ketchup and mustard going to continue to improve as this season goes on for the LeFlore Rattlers. But 3rd down and 10 yards to go for LeFlore.
They got the down marker right. It was still on 2nd down, Corey. And I'm like, no, this should be 3rd down. Horn trying to get the snap off, but the play clock has expired. We're quite familiar with that call.
Yeah, it's a situation to where
Ron Coleman signaled offsides, officials timeout, but I thought the play clock had expired. They moved LeFlore back, so maybe he just did the wrong. It's the first game of the season, so he went offsides. Should have been delay a game.
And you'd have to observe the heat timeout.
I think he's doing it right here, yeah, at 5:34. Don't forget, tomorrow night we're coming back to Ladd People Stadium for our 2nd of 3 in a row. It will be the James Clemens Jets versus the Murphy Panthers. And Corey, you talked about James Clemens playing a scrimmage last week against Oxford. They went up to Oxford, and I'll tell you someone else who went up to Oxford as well. Rico Jackson and a few of his coaches went to take a look at the Jets last week. He told me when I sat down with him, yeah, we're going to take a ride up there and take a look-see. And so he'll be prepared for the James Clemens Jets tomorrow night. 348 miles they'll be traveling, Corey.
And you have to be happy if you're Murphy because you have another 7A opponent outside of your region.
Correct.
Coming all the way down here. I think that this was supposed to be a home-and-home possibly, and COVID kind of kept that from happening a year ago.
Yeah, Murphy was to travel to James Clemens last year, and James Clemens had to forfeit that game because of COVID. Well, with the rule the Alabama High School Athletic Association instituted, if you forfeited a game like that, you have to travel to make up. We're trying to make up some yards as they haul one in long distance there, and they connect with Miguel Fleming.
I'm looking forward to watching Antonio Coleman to see if he can continue to encourage his defense to get that shutout. But that's a nice throw.
By Horn. Nice throw.
He
had time to step into it, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, you're having a young man complete to Miguel Fleming, the sophomore wide receiver. Again, positive aspects for LeFlore at any point in time in this football game. You just want to continue to look at what you didn't do well, but continue to highlight the positives also.
1st and 10 for the Rattlers. Ball on the 26-yard line, trying to knock on the door and get into the red zone, but more importantly, into the end zone. That pass completed out to Josh Scott. Helmet is knocked off as he is hit. We've seen a few helmets come off tonight, Corey.
Yeah, I mean,
during the play.
That's what football is all about at its best, and you take a look at this replay, and it was a great throw. Even better catch, but you look at this textbook tackle by the Williamson Lion defender, and the best thing about it is Josh Scott held onto the football.
He did. May have been a little helmet to helmet there, Corey, possibly, but Scott hung in there, but he's going to have to come out this play with this helmet coming off. Rattlers inside the red zone. Oh, a little mix-up in the handoff to Demir Smith, but he's going to make up for it with his athleticism. Scramble for a yard or two.
One thing about this Williamson Lion defense, it's steady blitzing. They're coming hard with that blitz.
Oh, yeah. All right, Corey, we're winding things up here. Time to get on our Career Tech Education Player of the Game. And I'm thinking, like I said, I'm thinking Daniel Miller. He accounted for 5 touchdowns tonight, 3 passing, 2 on the ground, 1 93-yard beauty bomb. I'm going to say it with Drew Pearson going into the Hall of Fame. That was almost like a Hail Mary, even though it wasn't a Hail Mary situation. Beautiful pass from Miller to Clark, and that pass not too beautiful. As Robert Woodyard picks up his 2nd interception tonight and just dances to the 40 and goes down, Corey.
Yeah, he could have taken that to the house.
He could have, Corey. You're right.
And here comes the penalty flags. Yeah, that's the one thing Coach Pete said he wanted to stay away from. He wanted to stay away from those penalty flags.
And the way Woodyard's looking, it's almost like he just had a casual workout tonight,
he
Corey.
It was very casual.
You know what I mean? Just a little casual workout. Let's take a look at that replay. If we can get it up. Get it up, rather.
Woodyard And if I'm the officials, even though we're taking a look at the amount of penalty flags that were thrown, I probably would continue as soon as I'm finished discussing with my partners. As long as there's no ejections, I want the clock to run again, with it being 53-0. And as should be, the clock is continuing
and now
to run.
The clock is running.
Right.
Here's a look at the replay.
Just snags.
Now he kind of did a little Mardi Gras moon pie steal there. Corey. He jumped in front of the receiver in front of Josh Scott there. I don't think Scott knew he was there. I'll put it to you like that.
You know what though?
I don't think he knew it was there.
When Robert goes back and looks at that, he's probably going to wish that he would have housed it.
Yeah. In hindsight.
And taking it to the house because he had the opportunity to do so, and continuing to pad his stats as a possible All-American candidate, but definitely one of the top players in the state of Alabama.
Speaking of top players, there it is, Corey, our Career Tech Education Player of the Game, Daniel Miller, quarterback for Williamson, as we said, accounted for 5 touchdowns tonight, 3 in the air, 2 on the ground. And don't forget, Corey, the big 50-yard pass play he had to Jacoby Shaw to set up his first running touchdown.
That pass
the first play of the game.
Early in the game.
Early in the game, right.
And it did set up him an opportunity to go ahead and punch it in. And
so
you looking at his player of the game right there. The young man, again, just picked up an offer from South Alabama.
That's right.
And I think he'll continue to see offers come his way as this season progresses. But as he continues to learn to read these defensives even better, he's doing a wonderful job. It's evident tonight. We see he can put that football on the money.
Coach Pete told me he feels that Daniel Miller has adapted well to his play calling and style. His clarity and vision has improved greatly from the spring game. And Coach Pete, being an offensive guy, said he's always going to push his quarterbacks, Corey.
It's that growth that you want to see from your quarterback, especially with a coaching change, and a coaching change in which your head coach is also the offensive coordinator.
Right.
That's how you want to get better.
So
that's what you've seen.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Pete and maybe our Career Tech Education Player of the Game, Daniel Miller. I'll see if Frank can drum up enough headsets, Corey, for us. He's been doing a great job tonight. Also, big ups to everyone in the truck as well. It's our first ball game of the season, and we will be back tomorrow night for James Clemens against Murphy. And then Saturday, really looking forward to that one, 5 p.m. here at Lab People Stadium. It'll be Blunt versus Viger. 1:35 and counting. LeFlore trying to take the shutout away from Williamson. Quarterback wrapped up and sacked. Horn just escaping. Trying not to fumble the ball. It is 4th down, Corey.
1:10 remaining here in the 4th quarter of action, and the Williamson Lions has shown that they're ready for next week's opponent for themselves.
Faith Academy.
We showed the schedule earlier at halftime.
Yep, Faith Academy. That should be a good contest, Corey.
It really should.
That should be.
And you have to be excited if you're head football coach Melvin P. in your debut, getting the shutout at home in front of your fans. And if you're the LeFlore Rattlers, you're just going to continue to build. This is a young team,
right,
with a young head coach who's passionate, who knows the football game, who knows this football team, and he's going to continue to build and do a great job for the LeFlore Rattlers.
Delay a game against LeFlore. Saw them shouting, saying this, snap the ball, snap, get it off, but I don't think the play was actually in for the players to really execute it. So we're going to give another try here with the play clock running, game clock running as well. This possibly could be the last play of the ball game. Some early movement, and there's the flag coming in from the judge here at the bottom of the screen, Corey. Maybe offsides against Williams.
13 seconds remaining now.
Well, as you were talking about crafting your text message to Executive Director Briggs, those 13 seconds would have expired if the clock was actually running to a penalty score.
Hey, it's a situation where I know you have to assess the penalty and walk it off.
Right.
But I would like for
I know you would. I know you would.
While
Corey.
they're walking it off with the clock to go ahead and run.
Horn throws it. Receiver is bumped, but no flags. And the clock typically stops with changes of possessions, but we are at zeros, Corey, and I think that's going to be it. One LeFlore player down there, waiting for the call from Ron Coleman. And Ron Coleman's going over to check the player. He hasn't exactly signaled that the ball game is complete, but I think it's pretty much a given, Corey. It's a final. Williamson totally annihilates LeFlore tonight, 53-0. The most lopsided win here in the Levi Washington Classic since they've been playing each other previously. It was 41-0, but tonight 53-0 as LeFlore players still on the field on the last play of the ball game. The players haven't been able to come over and greet. I see Coach Burney down on the field there with the players, along with the trainers too, Corey.
Yeah, that's something that you don't like to see at the end of the game.
Right.
But like I mentioned, going into an open week, if the injury's not too severe, you would have an opportunity to kind of nurse that injury and try to get a little bit better. But
Coach Barney headed this way. I believe he's wants to shake hands with Coach Pete as Coach Pete is walking out to the field to meet him. And hopefully we can effort to try to get a chance to talk with Coach Pete after this victory right here. So, Corey, the Williamson High School band playing the alma mater now. And the two coaches down on the field talking. Tomorrow, make sure you join us. We will be back here going live at 6:50 as James Clemens will come down to take on the Murphy Panthers. We'll go live at 6:50 with kickoff at 7 o'clock. And Corey, we talked about it earlier. This is a sleeper contest, I'm going to say, because it's two 7A teams. They rarely meet this early in the season. They're not in the same region, but to see a team like this, you typically possibly may see them in the playoffs. So to have a 7A contest so early in the season is huge for both of these schools.
I'm excited that we're having a triple header, and like you said, Clemens coming down here to play Murphy is going to be a special matchup, and it's one that we're looking forward to. And the truck and the producers just do a great job of setting up the graphics and preparing us for our games each and every week. Can't thank them enough for the job that they do, from the cameramen to the camera ladies to everybody in the truck that brings us the quality high school football that we have. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
I think they're efforting to get Coach Pete over here to the camera and get him mic'd up for us, Corey. We can ask him a couple questions about the win tonight. Great offensive output for the Lions here with Daniel Miller, our Career Tech Education Player of the game, picking up 5 touchdowns. And as you can see, the media folks all around Coach Pete, our buddy Darren Patterson and Arthur Mack and John Vila all want to get quotes. That's a good way to welcome yourself to the Gulf Coast area, get a win like that,
It
Corey.
really is. I mean, you're doing it right here in front of your Maysville community, and you've had Williamson with a disappointing region loss in the first round of the playoffs when this Maysville crowd came back in. Now you have an opportunity in the spring to have a great turnout, and now we're going to go down to the field to talk to Coach Pete.
Coach Pete, congratulations on your victory. First one here at Williamson tonight. Second half, not as many points in the first half, but you still got some points on the board. What can you say about your team tonight, Coach?
We still have a ways to go, but I see a whole lot of bright spots. As I said right at halftime, kind of looking for drives and putting things together and doing those things, but you know how our coach is. Our coach kind of always look for the other things that he can improve on.
No, Coach, we know Daniel Miller. We made him our Career Tech Education Player of the Game, accounted for 5 touchdowns, 3 in the air, 2 on the ground. But talk about the freshman, Yusuf Clark. I mean, this guy, he's a speedster. Where'd you find him at, Coach?
Hey, only thing I can tell you is that when he showed up, we kind of thought that he was the next Robert Woodyard. And I don't want to put that label on him like that, because his name is going to speak for itself.
You're doing a great job, Coach. I know you wanted to build off of the spring game. You were able to do that. Have you seen the improvement that you wanted to see in between the spring and the first game of the season?
Yes, I have. I can't say that because of our offensive line is a little bit polished and the same thing. I can't really say a whole lot about our defense because they play lights out defense all the time. Only thing I can tell you is that we still have some improvement over there because of getting interceptions and people throwing up a lot of balls and different angles that we have to do.
All right, Coach, we do appreciate it. Congratulations on the win, and good luck next week as you head against Faith Academy. Corey, tomorrow night we're going to have James, Clemens, and Murphy right here. You're welcome, Coach. We'll have them right here at Lab People Stadium. Last numbers on Miller, 5 touchdowns. Great night, 78-yard rushing on the ground as well, Corey. So I enjoyed it. For our executive producer, Quentin Howard, director Wade Ford, my man Corey LeBounty, statistician China Miller, and Matt Moore, and engineer Fran Conway, we thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow. Williamson gets the win, 53-0. It is the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. Have a great evening.